I'm live. Hello. Yeah, guys, it's going to be one of those. I'm not showing my face tonight. I don't feel like, no, I don't feel like it. It's, it's not a lot going on. I actually, um, I took my hair out. So I'm letting it rest. And you know how you take your hair out and your hair was actually kind of sore and you have like little sores and things in your head, and it just feels better to just let it just sit where the way it's sitting. And so for that reason, I just am not going to come on camera tonight because I look like what is her name? She was in Fight Club and she was Bellatrix Lestrange and the Harry Potter movies and stuff. I know her name, but I keep wanting to say Tilda Swinton, and I know that's not her name. But anyway, you know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. Her hair is always like all over her head, and so I just didn't feel like I needed to do anything particular with my hair today. So I'm just gonna let it sit the way it is. But I still could come and do my live and hang out with you guys. Um, so yeah, I don't have anything in particular that I wanna to talk about. I mean, there's a lot of different things that we can talk about, but I just figured I'd give you guys a chance to ask me some questions you want to ask, and yeah, and that'll just be kind of that. Hey, Christina Bell. Hey, Spark Joy. Welcome. I was just saying, like, I'm not getting on camera tonight because my hair's all over my head. Thank you so much, Christina. My hair's all over my head. It looks like that lady from Harry Potter and Sweeney Todd and stuff. I can't remember what her name is, even though I know her name well. And I keep wanting to call her Tilda Swinton, and I know that's not her name. But anyway, that's what my hair looks like right now, and I'm going to let it do that because it needs to rest. My scalp needs to rest specifically. Hey, Mara and Tiffany's. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, we're celebrating 150 subscribers. I'm super, super excited. I figured it'd be just enough or a good enough thing to kind of do a Q&A. If people wanted to ask questions, just generally about me or about the channel, the platform, whatever, I figured it'd be fun. I do have general things that we can talk about just in as far as this week is concerned. Oh, I do have a little bit of like baby mama stuff, not really news per se, but in baby mama news, um, Danny Lay and the baby. I don't know why this has come up lately, but they had new pictures of the baby. First of all, can I just say, yes, Mara, you can ask in the chat. Yes, Antipodes, I'm trying, girl. They've been showing like new pictures of the baby and Danny Lee's baby, and she's so. First of all, can I just say, I feel like that's my little niece. I really just loved that baby from the beginning. The first time I saw her, I was just in love with that little baby. She's so sweet and so happy looking, and just like nothing to do with any of the mess that surrounds her. But they've had her and her mom, and she's looking, she's looking tan. She's looking tan. She always had more color than her mother, but she's looking just straight up brown, like a straight up little pretty black baby. And yeah, she does look like a little doll. I just want to hold her and play with her. She's so sweet. And they were talking, a lot of people are talking about that's what Danny Lay gets, and because she made the Yellow Bowl song and all of that. And I'm just like, I don't I don't know. I hope that nothing happens with that baby. It is ironic, I suppose. I don't know, but the thing is, I don't know exactly what she thought was going to happen. Like the baby was always going to be darker than she was. Like I don't know. And in terms of mixed looking children, that baby just looks like a regular black baby to me. You know what I mean? Like she really doesn't look mixed person. Yeah, she's so cute. She's every time I see her, I go, "There's the pretty Woody." She is so pretty and just so sweet. Um, but yeah, everybody's talking about how that's what she gets, and I'm just like, I'm over it. But ooh, even better. So he had a concert or something, an arena that he was trying to sell out in New Orleans, and he couldn't even sell 500 tickets. And they said that it was tickets as low as $35, and he couldn't even sell 500 tickets, so he canceled the booking. And isn't that something? You know what I mean? Like, look where we are. And just a few, what was it, a year or so ago, you couldn't tell him he wasn't on his way up. So yikes, the idea of having a darker skinned child is her karma is cringe. Yeah, it's like I don't something about the way that people are kind of like going, that's what you get, nana boo boo. Like uh that kind of reinforces the idea that there is something inherently wrong or not as good with having browner skin. You know what I mean? Like it's really off-putting. Like I get where it's coming from, but honestly, even when all that stuff was happening, I think I felt worse for her than a lot of people felt for her because she's her. She said things she said, and she's done things she's done, and it is what it is. But I think generally people are just over Danny Lay, so no matter what, they're going to find a way to spin it that is negative towards her, and that it's unfortunate, but it also is what it is. Um, so like, there's a problem with her skin tone. Yeah, like I feel like it's weird to keep framing it like that. Like when I look at her, I don't see the sins of her parents. When I look at her, I'm just like, oh my God, what an amazing, beautiful, sweet looking little baby. She is probably such a joy and a delight to be around. You know what I mean? And so it is what it is. It's a blessing to be dark. The baby needs to be put in the trash. And he got the nerve. All his little babies is cute. I know that one little baby is not with Mimi. He's another little girl, and they show her like doing her colors or something. Gorgeous little chocolate thing. Oh my goodness. Said the European descendants are struggling with climate change. Said leave a life family. Yes. Oh, and when it comes to emojis, somebody asked me about emojis. You can just do the three hearts. Those are my emojis. She is innocent. Her parents are assholes. So I think we're all in consensus with that. Hey, Hope. And second thing, I won't say I was debating about whether or not I was going to talk about this. I'm pretty sure I was it just occurred to me today to talk about it actually. And I was pretty sure that I was going to talk about it as soon as I thought about it. Lizzo, regarding Lizzo. And this is something that is very close to my heart. Hey, Moonstone. As a fat Black woman, it's something that's very close to my heart because it's been really crazy to me since Lizzo blew up. And no pun intended, I really didn't think about that until after I said it. But once she got big, and Jesus, what is it? There's no puns. Like, there's no way to work around these puns. But since she became popular, there we go. Since she became popular on the scene, it's been, I won't say a surprise to me, the way people have been treating her. But I think it definitely kind of caught me off guard. She said, I became a demon for Lizzo. I've said things I never said before. I think I'm with you. Just the level of hatred that people have towards fat women and fat Black women, to be specific. And now I am in that auntie phase. I'm older. I'm closer to 40 than I am to 20. So I do have different sensibilities than I probably would have as a younger person. But no, I can say even as a younger person and still as a bigger girl, my personal hangups about my weight, I would have never did half of the things that she does in terms of like her fashion choices and the way she carries herself. Um, but that's not to say that, like I said, as someone who is in auntie status at this point, I can't see that as someone her age, that's what she's, that is what she's into, and that's what the girls her age are doing. You know what I mean? And like, this is the time that she's in, and being that she is a contemporary of the Megan Thee Stallions and the Cardi B's and the mainstream female artists that are out there, that is what they do. And this idea that because she's bigger, that she herself shouldn't be comfortable with doing that stuff. And like I said, I can say that as a fat black woman who isn't comfortable with a lot of things. Like, I just started wearing cleavage in my 30s. I just started kind of pushing myself to be comfortable wearing noticeable, intentional cleavage. And I still don't that much. You know what I mean? But as a fat black woman, I know how hard it is to find that level, just a level of self-acceptance, number one, because I've been through the phases of just trying to shrink into the wall because I didn't want people to see me. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to be judged or didn't want to feel that scrutiny or othering of being a fat person. You know what I mean? And then I went through phases of, look, it is what it is. I just want to be comfortable, but I'm still not necessarily trying to be, overtly feminine presenting, or even, I'm using air quotes, fooling myself into thinking that I could be pretty or attractive, or you know what I mean? Like, I've been through the different phases, settling on self-acceptance and self-love, and just really embracing my personal style as a woman aside from my weight. You know what I mean? So to see somebody who is straight up saying, look, I'm me, and I'm not going to live my life as if my fat is who I am. I'm going to do the things that I want to do, that I feel are appropriate for me, that I feel are fun for me, and like I said, she's not doing anything that people her age don't do. You know what I mean? Does every person her age do it? No. But like I said, her contemporaries are doing it. And yes, some people may try to clap back and say, oh, well, people complain about them too, but not in the same way and not for the same reasons. It's like, as you see, nobody's bringing up, I won't say nobody. There was a time where they would bring up Cardi B. They would bring up Cardi B a lot, I think, more than Megan Thee Stallion. So Lizzo does a lot, but she harms no one. Cruelty she receives is out of control. Yeah. Cleavage is a huge step. I'm very self-conscious about my chest. And yeah, I've had major breasticles since I was like in middle school. And it's always been, and because they put so much pressure on women to cover up or whatever, it was more so in middle school. That was when I really started trying to blend into the wall to not be seen for various different reasons, for money reasons, style reasons, weight reasons, skin tone reasons, any and every insecurity I had made me want to kind of just try to disappear. And then getting older, and like I said, going through all the stuff that we always talk about with regard to men and sexuality and stuff like that. Like, I'm just getting to a point where I'm like, look, these are mine, and depending on what I want to wear, there may be some exposure to them, and that, the top of them or whatever, that is the thing. Now, I don't think, even if I lost 100 pounds, I don't think I would ever be comfortable with that under boob situation. That seems like a bit much, but again, different strokes for different folks. I'm auntie now, so it is what it is. So people are clout chasing, using her, and are mostly hateful. They feel like she's an easy target. It goes back to people hating to see unapologetically happy fat people living their best lives. Absolutely. That's all really where I was getting to with it. Like, I feel like it's a thing. I don't feel like, I know for certain, because I had a conversation with someone, a male, and we were talking about men and women and this and that and the other. And I brought up Lizzo as an example. I was just like, the way people talk about Lizzo, it doesn't make any sense when she's not doing anything to anyone. And he was basically saying, and if you listen, it's so crazy how, like I said, I can pick out these arguments that you hear online, and that's how I know it's not just an online thing, because you hear it out in the real world. I just never knew to look at it in that way, you know what I mean? But they were basically saying, like, her being fat is an offense. Because that was my question. I was like, how is her just existing as a fat woman offensive to you? Because the way they speak as if her existence and their knowledge of her existence is an affront to them personally. And that's the part where I'm just like, I don't get that. And that's not right. And that's not fair. And you just feel like it's open season because she had the nerve to be fat in the vicinity of your eyes. And they'll try to skew it like, oh, it's the stuff she does. But really, it's about her being fat in general. You know what I mean? Like, it's about her being fat and not behaving herself in a way that denotes some kind of shame about it. And that is the thing that I just can't get jiggy with. And it's not just, I was talking to another fellow fat black woman, and she was saying, she was talking about Lizzo, and she was talking about this other fat person as well, like an influencer on YouTube or something. And she was just saying, like, basically, oh, they're glorifying being fat. And I'm like, that is not a glorification of being fat. Being able to be happy and visible in a fat body is not the same thing as saying everybody should be fat. And it's this idea that, oh, if she's happy being a fat person, then she can be, anything that any other woman can be. If she doesn't make fat look uncomfortable, if she even makes being fat look fun, then she is promoting people just being fat, as opposed to her just promoting people enjoying their bodies as is, no matter what it looks like. It says a fat black female happy is offensive, apparently. Yeah. It's so offensive. And I saw was it Kim? It might have been Kim. No, it was on Twitter, actually. I saw someone was saying that really it denotes that guy. I'm not even going to say his name, because I was thinking about making her the focal point of the talk today, like putting her on the thumbnail and everything. But I was like, no, I don't feel like spending the whole time talking about this. But the comedian, his inability, he's spoken before about being dissatisfied with his appearance and his weight and stuff like that. And so it's this idea that, oh, if she can walk around and not seem to have a care in the world, but he's walking around having a lot of himself and tell himself that he's attractive when he isn't. You know what I mean? When the visible signs of his very own organs having a distaste for him in his life is showing, then, what's the problem? She's engaged, and what's her name? Gabori Sidibe is engaged too, or married. She might be married by now. I know she got engaged, at least within the last year. Said they're mad black women have confidence. No one is stopping them to support each other while progressing. Exactly, because if it ain't black women being fat, if it ain't black women wearing weaves and nails and eyeliner, it's whatever black women seem to be doing that give them any kind of confidence or give them any kind of feeling of just generally taking up space, and not even a whole bunch of space, just taking up space with the, shoulders up, face forward, not bending, not cowering, not begging, not pleading. It's a problem. It's a problem. They hate fat people. They hate black women. How dare you be both and happy and living your best life? Yeah, and I think that's a problem too, whereas here she comes as all of the things, because typically what can they do to say that a woman has gotten to where she is, right? Oh, she slept her way to the top. Or, oh, she just got there because somebody wanted to have sex with her. So now here she goes. Everything is flying in the face of their theories on what makes a woman valuable. She's just at the top based on her talent, according to them, on her talent alone. You know what I mean? But now it's not even her talent. It's just the fact that people just want to big up fat people. She said, Gabori, it sounds like you have a cute shape, Christina. Gabori's married. Thank you so much, Chris. He said next time you two play, but I know, right? True Mystique said, I know, right? The nerve. Oh no, Nia said True Mystique, the nerve. Yeah, they just don't want to see, they don't like to see Black women have a source of power that they can't touch or control. And the thing is, to see fat Black women, or any woman that they don't tout as desirable, any woman that they voice is undesirable, be able to not only continue to exist but to thrive amidst their disapproval, and despite them taking away the thing that they feel like they have that is leverage over that individual, that is an affront to them. And like I asked them, I said, well, what, why do you feel like, I said, if a fat person comes into Starbucks, do you feel like they're doing something to you? Because they were like, oh, why shouldn't people be able to be held accountable if they're fat or something? I said, why do they need to be accountable to you? Because they're fat. What are they doing to you? Like, just existing in your presence is doing something to you. And I really had to like break it down to them that that's none of your business, and they're not doing anything to you by existing. Hey, Themis. They're not doing anything to you by existing. Hey, Tori. So men generally feel like if you are around them, that somehow you have to be accountable to them no matter what it is. You know what I mean? Like, you owe them your attention, you owe them the opportunity and the jurisdiction to be able to decide what you deserve, not just from them. Because like I said, these are the same men that will sit and say they would never touch you, but somehow they feel like they should be in control of what anybody else would give you or how anybody else would treat you. You know what I mean? And that's the part that's really bizarre to me. And listen, but yeah, so that's all I really want to say about that, because I don't want to go into that. So that concludes the pre-show. So I'm going to go ahead and play the intro, and then we can go ahead. You guys can start putting things in the comments for questions, or you can come up if you like. I'll put that in the chat as well. All righty. So, yeah, throw them at me. Give me the questions. Actually, the last time I checked, I have 150 subscribers. 149 subscribers. But typically, by the time, I do the lives and everything, I'll have 150 subscribers. So I'm just claiming it. I probably already got one by now. Hi, Spark Joy. Welcome. So that, because in celebration of that, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys ask me any questions you would want to ask me. I don't have any, I don't want to say no topic is off limits, because honestly, I don't know. Oh, you know what? See, and I have forgotten. So now we got to do this. Hold on a second. Go ahead and put your questions in the chat. Tori, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tori. Happy birthday to you. You can't see my face, but I'm doing like like a smile. I don't see any questions yet. I did put the link in the chat. But yeah, I have 150 subscribers, so it is my pleasure, Tori. It's absolutely my pleasure. That's a big deal for me. I don't know. And now I'm sitting and I'm thinking to myself, like, why wouldn't I? Oh, I found one. Okay, I'm gonna put that inside. Why wouldn't I do this before? Like, I kept saying forever and ever and ever, I can't do YouTube, but it wasn't time. And now I'm just like, I don't know why I felt that way. But anyway, Christina Bell says, what is your goal of this channel? So my goal of this channel is to I already created it. So to hold a space for single mothers, specifically Black single mothers, to be able to take a breath and analyze their experiences. Most of us are just trying to survive. Like I said, like in my experience, when I was going through all of that stuff, because I had that, thank you so much, Tori, because I had all of that stuff going on with me, and I heard that voice saying, hey, this is important, pay attention. I knew that I knew it was hard for me. And so I wanted to try to pay attention so that I could help other people, because I just had this sense in the midst of, if you are in a rainstorm or something and all the rain and stuff is falling around you, it gets hard to be able to see what's around you. But sometimes I would catch a little glimpse of something here or there, hear people talking, hear things going on. And I just knew that this was something that I was going to be able to do to help other people who were going through stuff like me. I knew I wasn't the only person going through it, but I knew that I felt alone, and I didn't want other people to feel as alone as me. So the long-winded way of answering your question, my goal is to help people who are going through or have gone through what I've gone through make sense of it and be able to move forward, take their life lessons and make something beautiful out of it. You know what I mean? In fact, on my Instagram, it says, I teach single mothers how to build a savvy mindset from their life lessons, use it to manifest abundance, and do it all with style. So, yeah. Let's see here. Next question. Hold on, I'm trying to grab all of your questions so that I don't miss them. Chris says, I have a bit of a hot take question. I travel in some content spaces that most don't. The majority of the criticisms of Lizzo don't have anything to do with her race, weight, or gender. Okay. I know. I mean, if you like, you can come up and we can talk about it, because I guess I have questions. I kind of think I know where you're coming from with it, but I also am not 100% sure. So I would want to know a bit more about it before I would try to respond to it. And Tiffany said, do you have any plans to collaborate with other YouTube content creators? If they would have me, honestly, I've got a few, I guess, dream collaborations that I would want to do. But right now, I'm just kind of like, I'm not in a space to really put too much thought into it. It's just kind of like, but yes, definitely. Like, I'm not someone that just needs to hog the spotlight. I definitely want to, but I want to collaborate with people where we have a common goal. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just be collaborating for the collaboration's sake. I do want to grow, like we spoke about a couple lives ago. I am about growing and monetizing and all of that, but I don't, I'm not trying to do it fast, so it doesn't have to be fast. So I don't want to compromise quality and integrity for that purpose. Chris says, mostly around her not knowing what the award meant and her comments about being oppressed. What is the best way to separate out the critiques so that her characteristics aren't conflated with her ideas? Okay, I didn't watch the award show, so I have no idea what you're talking about. So I definitely would need more context. Mara says, Vitamin, any advice to bring to Black women trying to become indifferent to the chaos in the community? Absolutely. Retreat inward. Like, just focus. If you make your focus about finding the places that you're uncomfortable with yourself and working on that, once you get used to doing that, people won't be able to bother you. You know what I mean? Like, some things are going to bother you in a sense of, like, it's just cruel. Like, cruelty bothers me. I hate people just being generally cruel and unnecessarily cruel to people, whether it's directly to me or other people in my vicinity. But for the most part, there's nothing that anybody can say about me that I haven't already either put on my to-do list or accepted about myself. So when you get into minding your own business, basically, to the degree that you're just like, I am my biggest, best, most meaningful project in life, you yourself, then that's how you become indifferent to the chaos in the community, because you know that you're doing your part by managing yourself. um Hetty says, are you going to make videos or just stream? I want to make video, but I don't see myself doing it as a hustle. And I feel like right now, because I'm not monetized and because I'm not, making, and that's just me. Other people just do it because, they just do it. I'm not going to say I wouldn't enjoy it. I do enjoy it, but I'm at a space where I feel like I'm still struggling with that whole you don't have to kill yourself to make money thing. And so because I still have to kind of do work to make money, I don't want this thing that I love so much, that is kind of a retreat from that life, to become work and toil, if that makes sense. So once I can get to a point where I can monetize it, and not a whole lot, like I really don't need a whole lot of money to feel like I've accomplished something. Then I feel like it'll kind of unlock that level where I'm like, okay, I can start putting more time into this without feeling like I'm just kind of, it's a hobby, if that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. Let me see what the other questions are. Antipodes says, Vitamin, what's your take on whether Black women creators on YouTube should continue to make space to have conversations with Black men on their channels? I think that a matter of should we, I don't think it's a should. You know what I mean? Like all we should do is stay black and die. You know what I mean? At this point in what is going on within the community, we're in a space where like we're just kind of waking up to the ways that we have been beset upon, the psychological strain, the mental strain, the emotional strain, the spiritual strain, the physical strain. We're just kind of coming into an awareness of the ways that we have been strained, both from within ourselves and through other people, and namely the men. So I don't feel like we should feel any kind of pressure to need to have to talk with men. You know what I mean? I feel like we've done a lot of that, of trying to work with them, of trying to, I know me personally, because whenever there's any kind of conflict going on between me and someone else, my first I'm looking within first, like I said before. You know what I mean? But the reason that I found that I tend to do that first is because by the time I turn it back on you, it's because I've done a thorough investigation internally to find that it ain't me, it's you. You know what I mean? And so being that, like I said, a lot of women, most women, I think weren't even doing that internal search because they were just in survival mode. We're going to need that time to disengage. I think if you compare my stance in terms of relationships between the men and the women in our community, my stance is disengage. If you are not getting that safety, if you are not getting that support, if you are feeling strained and constant miscommunication and constantly being misunderstood and constantly being told that you're angry and constantly being told that you're uncooperative and you're this and you're that, then I think it's well within it would behoove you to disengage. Like I said, if for no other reason than to do that internal audit. Does that make sense? Like, do that internal audit so that you can come back And either you're going to find some areas where you need to do some work and work on that, or you're going to find, like I said, that it wasn't you, and then you can address the other person accordingly. That's my stance on it, because when you are not really clear about where you are, people that have ill intent, people that, like, there are people that want us confused, and that's why I always kind of highlight the different things, recurring themes that you'll see come out of the men in terms of where we're deficient or what we need to do or what they're looking for or how they do this and that, because that highlights the way that they keep us in a state of confusion, in a state of distress, in a state of just gaslighting. You know what I mean? Just keeping us constantly like that Mr. Krabs meme where you're just kind of like, what? And you can't see straight, and you're just trying to do right, and you're just trying to, be a good person and a good woman and a good mother and a good girlfriend and a good wife and a good whatever. And you don't have enough time to sit back and go, and wait a minute, is this person reciprocating at the level that I want or need or is fair? You know what I mean? You don't have enough time to ask if you're receiving as much as you're giving. And that is the goal, is to keep you giving and giving and giving and giving and giving. And then when you do turn around and you don't have anything left to give, then they can say, oh, well, that wasn't on me. That was on you. You let me do it. You chose me. You chose wrong. You did this. And now you don't deserve for anybody to fill you back up because you allowed that. You know what I mean? And so I think that we definitely need to just focus on ourselves. If not, that being said, if there are any men that I come into contact with that I feel like I can have a discourse with, and they aren't going to drain me, or I feel like I can prevent them from draining me or whatever, and I feel like it'll be a productive discourse, then I'll have it. But I don't feel any particular pressure of integrating, Black men and their feelings, views, or whatever into this space, because it wasn't made for that. Let me go back. We're still talking about Lizzo. Any criticism are based in colorism, fatphobia, etc. No one's going to outright say I do. And yes, and that was the conversation I had with the person I was having. Like, I feel is one of those conversations where, that's why I say it's draining, because even though a lot of men will sit and say, oh, we're saying the things that people don't want to hear and blah, 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 they'll still try to hide certain things. They don't want to do, because they know, they feel, I don't think they know, because I don't think they allow themselves to fully think it, because they know that then they could be discounted outright. For them to straight out say, I don't like Lizzo because she's fat, and I just don't like her because she's fat, then that is admitting, oh yeah, I'm fatphobic. Because there's no real good reason outside of, like, her being fat doesn't do anything to them. You know what I mean? They don't have to have sex with her. They don't have to look at her. Yes, she's in the media and this and that and the other, but a lot of people are. There's a lot of things going on that none of us necessarily care about, but we're always aware of, because these people are rich and famous, and that's how media works. But, how jarring, not even jarring, it's just like, if you ever sat and said to yourself, like, I just don't like somebody because they're dark skinned, or I just don't like somebody because they're poor, or what, like that's a big deal. That's a big deal to be able to say that about yourself. And we know introspection is not their thing. So I totally agree. Self-interest is the move for Black women. Yeah, like, and it's so sad and like frustrating that it's always taken as when we say, you know what, we're just going to focus on ourselves. And that's what getting your education is. You know what I mean? That's what trying to position yourself to be able to not even compete, but just to live well, to be able to move out of the hood, to be able to have nice things and go places and do stuff that's taken as an outright challenge or offense to these men. But like I said, it is a challenge and an offense to them, because then it takes you out of that realm of them being able to just pick pick you for whatever they want to pick you for, even though it's not necessarily in your best interest. Let's see. Chris says, I'm trying to find a clip of her speech because I don't want to take it out of context or for you not to have the actual words and ask you to comment. Yeah, I don't watch award shows anymore. I have it for a decade or more. I want to say a decade or more. They're just boring. They don't give like they used to, you know? It used to be like amazing when you see them, and but then again, nothing is what it used to. Oh my God, I sound old. Nothing is what it used to be back in my day. Let's see here. I'm going back to see if I had missed anything. No, has anybody aside from Chris watched the awards? Oh, and the biggest problem, not the biggest problem, all of it is a big problem for me, but one of the main things that annoys me so bad about the whole Lizzo situation is like they're always coming at her weight, but Lizzo is in better shape than most people. Period. Full stop. You know what I mean? Like the way that the physicality that she exudes on the stage during her shows is way more than most people do in their day-to-day life, no matter what their size is. And so the fact that they will gloss completely over that and just keep trying to say, oh, but she's fat, she's fat, she's fat. People that are in peak physical condition keel over and die from heart attacks. Is it all the time? No. But meanwhile, there's plenty of fat people who live long, healthy lives. Antipodes Vitamin, do you have any plans to write or release another book? If so, what topic would you want to tackle? Yes, and yes. Celibacy. I've actually started like the pre-writing phase of it. I had, I just kind of collect thoughts over time. It's been a long time. Like I've been collecting thoughts, but recently, within the last month or so, I got the that strike of, okay, it's time to start actually sitting down and writing this. So it's going to be specifically about celibacy. People control to hide their vanity. Yeah. What's your opinion on Tyrese and child support? Oh God, that just showed you how out of the loop I am. What is he talking about? I have no idea what you mean. He's always crying about something. Jesus. I do remember like when he first was it when he first got married or when he first, I think he got married and he had a daughter, and then he he got married and then he got divorced, and then the wife moved back to France or something. She wasn't from here. I don't feel like she was American, or she had family that wasn't from here. Christina Bell says, I'm here for the celibacy. That's what my mom taught me. And lo and behold, no babies. I also taught not to follow what others were doing. That's the only way abstinent works, in my opinion. Girl, listen, that is a whole another live stream in and of itself. Like I won't say I learned a lot about it. But I definitely found a new appreciation for that, unfortunately way too late, because I remember when I was a virgin, I won't say I don't know where I got that idea from. I definitely got it from television. I got it from, media, and this idea of like your virginity was something to just get out of the way. But I grew up during the time, with the American Pie and all of that, really a lot of white media, and everything was always about, oh, you got to get rid of your virginity and and blah, 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 blah. And so that's what I was thinking. Like I was thinking of it. I was thinking of it. No, I can't even say that. I got lucky. I got lucky when it came to like who I wound up being with. He was my first major boyfriend, and he was literally like the best guy for a very long time that I was in that I ever, been close with like that. And I lucked out with him. But at that time, yeah, I just was kind of like, oh yeah, this is just something I need to get done and over with. And it's so weird outside of like television and media and stuff like that was the expectation. Do you have a book club or a movie club? I don't. I would like to start one, but like I said, I'm in that space where I am still working on changing my perspective around work and deservedness. And it's like I spend a lot of time, in my opinion, procrastinating, and I spend a lot of time not doing anything, but at the same time I'm know that I'm doing something because I'm recognizing that I'm in literal conflict with myself about whether or not the things that I actually want to do are productive, if that makes sense. And a lot of the stuff, like I said, when it comes to YouTube and stuff like that, I'm at a point where I don't feel like it's productive because it's not what makes me money. And I'm working on that because I know for a fact that it's in just kind of letting myself enjoy myself without putting any pressure on myself to make it make money, that is when it'll happen. You know what I mean? I think Themis is like a testament to that. And not just Themis, a lot. I'm big, or I was really big on self-development for a very long time. And that was a recurring theme in people when they're like, oh, what's the key to your success? And they're basically like, just put your nose down and just, do what you love to do and be unapologetic about it, and don't worry about making money off of it per se. Like, just focus on being authentic. And so, but again, I'm still a black woman in America, and I'm not rich at all, and I don't come from money. So there's a lot of stuff there surrounding the ideas of doing what you want to do as opposed to what it looks like you need to do in order to do what's quote unquote responsible. What else? I'm only 24. My mom was not playing with that teen pregnancy. And you want to know? Now, here's the thing, though. I can say that because I came from a family that I will and I won't. I know I've said it on Themis Live and stuff before. Like, when I look back at it now as a 37-year-old woman, I am impressed with how I conducted my contraception and everything. Like, I was taking myself to the doctor, and I was trying out different types of contraception, and I was doing, all the things. But however, I still was a teenager, and I was reckless sometimes. Like, sometimes I didn't have condoms, and sometimes I would stop taking birth control because I wasn't having sex like that. But then an opportunity would come, and I wouldn't hold off until it was time, until I got some more, you know what I mean? So I wasn't as disciplined as maybe I thought I was at the time, but as an older woman, I can still say that I give myself credit for what I did do, considering I had no support. And you know what I mean? Like, it was me learning on my own, taking initiative on my own and everything. So I give myself that credit in doing what I did do. Um, Chris says, I'm happy to come if it's helpful for you to respond. Can you send me a link or, something I can look? I mean, but you know what? Yeah, go ahead. Come on up. Hold on. Because if nothing else, you can articulate what it is you're trying to say. We may not necessarily need to see the thing, but you can articulate what you were trying to say. Hope H says, when did you start writing? Did you write as a hobby as a child? I read like a crazy person. You did, Chris? I didn't see it. Let me try to see. I love to read. I would just lose myself in reading. That's all I wanted to ever do. And so because I was such an avid reader, I think I just naturally picked up kind of a knack for writing. So when I got to high school, and I remember I don't see it, Chris, but I think that the chat takes down links sometimes. I had that problem before. Um, what was I saying? Oh, when I got to high school, I remember the first assignment, I think, of like English class in high school, ninth grade. My teacher, Mrs. Gelfond, we had to read The Pearl by Maurice Steinbeck. I think it was Maurice Steinbeck, and then we had to write like an epilogue to that. And I remember I wrote it, and I remember like writing it and reading it back to myself, and just like, "Ooh, girl, this is good." You know what I mean? And I turned it in, and it was so good. She read it to the class, and she read it with like inflection, and her voice just went down, and she, yes, and they did such and such, you know. And I remember I was just so impressed. I think I loved her reaction to it, and so from then on, I was just like, oh, I'm a writer. Like, I'm a writer. So that was, I think that was ninth grade when I realized that I had potential to be a writer. She said, if it's not too much to ask, how old was your baby daddy at the time? We're the same age. So he is, hey, Chris, my child's father was born the October before the year I was born. So he was born in October, and then I was born that following August. Hi, Chris.
Hey, how are you doing? Congrats.
Thank you so much. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Thanks. I put the link in the StreamYard chat.
Okay. Let me see. I don't know why. Oh, wait. Private chat. Okay, there we go. Let me find it. Are you guys at work?
I work from home mostly, so yeah, I'm always at work.
I feel that. I understand. Okay. So this is Lizzo. Let me go ahead and share this. Share. Where is it? Is it going to play? It says 58 seconds, but it's not. Oh, it's still loading. God, I hate this thing. I don't know why. Well, while that's doing it, it's going to come on probably while I'm talking to people, and that's okay. Maybe if I close a few tabs. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know what music video for good means, but I do know what your vote means, and that's a lot. Your vote means everything to me. It means everything to making a change in this country. So remember when you're voting for your favorite artist, vote to change some of these laws that are oppressing us. And now, to the that got something to say about me in the press. You know what? I'm not gonna say nothing. They be like, Lizzo, why don't you clap back? Why don't you clap back? Because I'm winning.
I just realized that I probably okay. I just realized that it probably had a what's it called? Echo, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. If I had an echo. Um, well, what? So, what was she? Because you said something about she didn't know what award she had won.
Right. So she had, like she said, I don't know what video for good means. Um, so if you win best new artist, okay, it's pretty clear that you're a new artist and you had the best album. or something like that. When it's a video for good, I mean, what does that mean? Is it just okay, well, you can interpret it whatever way you want? It feels like pretty hollow and meaningless that you're out, celebrating, giving an award speech for an award that you don't know what the meaning of the award is.
I mean, well, truth be told, and I feel like they do this and again, I haven't watched award shows in a long time, but I think that was one of the reasons I kind of stopped watching award shows was because like they just kind of make stuff up anyway. And I don't know it. I personally don't know. Is this a new award? Is this an award they just came up with this year? You know what I mean? Like I don't know what it is myself. So that's why I say like I can't even. But I get what you're saying. Like it just seems like you don't really care, and you're just like, oh yeah, I got an award. Take this, people.
Right. And it feels like VMA's version of a participation trophy. We don't have an legitimate award to give you, but for publicity, for optics, for whatever reasons, we want to give you an award. So here's an award.
I mean, but
Um,
is that on her?
no, I don't think that's on her. I think it's a commentary on the structure itself, but it there is an element of responsibility if you're going to an accept award. Well, then you ought to at least know what the purpose of the award is, or at least don't say the quiet part out loud, which is, yeah, I don't know why I'm getting this award. They don't know why they're giving it to me, but cool, I'm gonna take it. I mean, that's fine, but don't say the quiet part out loud. Basically, it's a meaningless award.
I mean,
Which
well, they're all kind of meaningless.
I mean, I agree that in the grand scheme of things, they're meaningless. But if you're gonna floss on, I got this VMA award, at least know what the what the daggone award is for in the first place. Um, and then the second part that I hear a lot of content creators in kind of my conservative libertarian circles point out is that if you're going to talk about, and this is not a new criticism on her, um, it goes back to kind of the banality of the whole rock the vote MTV thing. But if you're going to have a national stage, a platform, um, and you're going to talk about being oppressed, please bring some receipts along with that. Um, because, okay, if you want to show a particular law or code or industry standard that's oppressing you, fine, but give some kind of bring some receipts and then give an actionable item, for if you want to give a call to action, then it's got to be specific. What laws are oppressing Lizzo? And I think that part of the problem is a conflation between things that are happening societal and in her community versus actual, you know, code of federal regulations. And I mean, I have this same criticism for lots of athletes who talk about things that they are not actually informed on. Celebrities do the same thing. So it's not a criticism specifically directed at her, but I think one of the challenges in discussing the situation is how to frame it so that the criticisms are clearly on her philosophy, on her ideology, on her political speech, and that isn't instantly just translated into, okay, well, it's fat phobic, it's racist, it's misogynist because you're attacking her, even though the criticism has nothing to do with any of those three issues.
I hear what you're saying. I see where you're coming from. However, I think that the issue for me is, like I said, like a lot of the things that I talk about, it is that it's the underlying reality that I feel like people are, and I'm not saying that specifically about you. I don't know. I haven't been around you enough to know, like outside of YouTube and stuff, to know exactly to pick up on that aura. But a lot of times people will say, oh, it's this, it's this, it's this. And they have points, but you can feel the undertone that it's not just that. Like even when I was talking about stuff before, if you talk to people long enough and you press them long enough on Lizzo specifically, you'll come to find that eventually they get to a point where they can't not say it is because she's fat. You know what I mean? It's because she's fat that I see everything that she does in this particular light. It's because she's fat that I can't hold grace for her, that she means well and she's just trying to make an impact with the notoriety that she has. And no, she may not be as well informed as other people, but most of us aren't when we're really being honest. And at least she's trying to make some kind of a difference. So it kind of feels like people being contrarian to her for saying something because, oh well, she should be happy that she got anything in the first place because she really doesn't deserve it because she's fat. Does that make sense?
Sure, and I think that that's really kind of going to the heart of my question, which is, if one is going to try to make an objective criticism, how best to approach that so that what is not actually meant as fat phobic, misogynist, racist is not presumed to be taken that way just because there is a difference in cultures and perceptions where the two people are coming from.
I think just be ready for the questions. Just be, you know, if people have follow up questions, because like I said, in my situation where I was talking to that person about Lizzo, I kept asking a series of questions because, like, I don't know how else to explain it. Sometimes you can feel people, even like you be at Demon's thing, so you know how when like when Dean would sit and say, "Oh, I'm trying not to say certain things," and it's like, no, say exactly what you mean and how you feel, so we know exactly where you're coming from. And there's sometimes when you're talking to people, there's this feeling that they're holding something back. And typically, if you get them to say what it is, it winds up being, you know what it is, because this person is fat, or it is because this is a black woman, or you get what I'm saying. So it's not
Right.
necessarily that they aren't hiding it, it's that they're hiding it from themselves. And the minute that we can get them to admit that to themselves, then we can move forward.
So that's actually very similar to a conversation AJ and I were having earlier, was about kind of passive aggressive racism. Um, that just come out, be honest with where you're at, so everyone's got their cards on the table,
Yeah.
and that is that kind of passive aggressive, I'm virtue signaling, but we all know that I've got some pretty ugly thoughts deep down. It's not constructive, and it doesn't actually move dialogue forward, because there's always kind of this underlying, are you coming to me in good faith, or
Right.
is this some kind of, you know, check a box, feel good about yourself?
Right. It's like I know that you're approaching me because I'm filling the blank here, and that's where your critique is actually coming from. But if you're not going to admit that, then you're just going to keep belaboring this point that doesn't exist. And where are we going to go with that? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like on the Themis Live on, was that Friday? The guy he had on there, he is, was he another lawyer or something? I think he said he was clerking, and he said he sent out a brief or something, and one of the partners gave this scathing critique about it and sent it, CC'd everybody and everything. So when he went to him directly and said, well, tell me what specifically your critiques are, he basically went back into a corner, straight up said, look, I think you're here because of affirmative action. And you get what I'm saying? So everything
Right.
that he did prior to that had nothing to do with whether or not it wasn't even real. It was the fact that I don't like that you're here. I don't like the position you're in. I'm mad that you got here. I'm mad you went to Ivy. You know what I mean? It's all of that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when people are coming to you supposedly on the surface about this issue, when it's not really even about that issue. It's just like
Yeah.
people sit and say, oh, she's unhealthy. But like I said, she's healthier than most people in America because she can dance and twerk, sing a flute, sing, play a flute, and not lose her breath. And Sweetie can't even walk across the stage without being like, you know what I mean?
Right. Right. And I mean that's kind of trying to do armchair physician diagnosis. Is on the one hand, humans all have these set of kind of heuristics about what seems healthy, what seems like this person would make a good mate, which person would make a good provider. I mean, but that's very kind of 30,000 foot, just somewhere to start. But trying to diagnose Lizzo from your, freaking Barca lounger with, crumbs all over your chest, and you can't even walk to the front door without being out of breath. I, yeah, I mean, I think that's just a good reason all around not to try to diagnose people um, without actual firsthand knowledge.
Right. But and then too, like I said, she represents something that all across the manosphere is basically this idea that women are supposed to get their value or their sense of self worth from men. And she is the antithesis of anything and everything that men say that they want in women. So how dare she get praised, and how dare she make money, and how dare she be visible and then be free to do what she wants? It's a slap in the face to, like I said, what they want to see. So like they may have, like even the stuff you were saying, the criticism about her not knowing about the award and everything, like I said, technically okay, fair enough, but it really isn't that big of a deal because I bet you MTV don't even know what that award is for. Like you said, it seems like something they just kind of pulled out of their ass to be able to give to her, but that's not on her. You know.
Well, I think if you're going to accept an award, you do kind of take on some of that responsibility, good or ill.
Mhm.
If you reject it and say, no, thanks, I'm not interested, well, then yeah, I would say totally on VMA for trying to shill out a meaningless award and picking a token to try to give it to.
Mhm.
Um, but if you're going to accept the award, well, then I'd say you've got at least 50% responsibility for everything that attaches to that award.
I
Kind
would.
of like,
I guess I would just need to know more about the award myself because in my mind, I'm thinking because I have a family member, like a close family member who works on those types of productions, it may not have even been clearly explained. It may not be clearly explainable. You get what
Right.
like it may wind up just being one of those things where like, oh, we're going to give this reward, we're going to have this award because was it her and a bunch of other people in the running, or was it only her?
I have no idea.
That's like, so there are a lot of factors that okay, was she up for it? Were a bunch of people up for it? And then when did they put it on the program? And there's so many questions that I have that I don't know, that I would want to know before I would sit and say, oh, she just didn't do her due diligence. You get what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but I think with all of these kind of um, pat ourselves on the back awards, they're about as real time as wrestling is. It's all scripted.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like, through your publicist or agent or whoever, if you're in the running for an award, you absolutely know about it. Um, because otherwise you might not show up. And then that looks really dumb if they're trying to give the award to someone who just didn't show up. So I would be shocked if she didn't know she was at least being nominated, if not already won. But that's I'm a total Hollywood outsider, so I have no clue. So
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, just because I've been seeing it, because the first time I knew anything about Lizzo, I didn't even know anything about Lizzo per se. Like I remember I kept hearing that song, "Baby, worship me." Like I would hear it in commercials and stuff, and I'm like, "Oh, that's cute." And then the first time I actually listened to it, I was like, "I love this. Who is this?" And then I saw her and I was like, oh yeah, I'm loving where this is going. And then I actually started looking, watching, and listening to her music. And I was like, this is needed. I love, as a fat black woman, I really, this resonates with me. I appreciate this. I love this. And then not too long after that, that's when she started really like taking off. And seeing, like I said, seeing all this vitriol towards her, like straight up vitriol. It ain't even like, sometimes people, like when Cardi B came out, there were people that loved her, there were people that hated her, this and that and the other. But knowing that, because she has a gorgeous face, she has a better face than a lot of these, quote unquote healthy looking people. She her face card is up there. She is tight to be so big. Her stuff is not flapping around. You know what? Like it could be. Like I've seen big people be. It's pretty tight on the bone. Um, she does a lot of dancing. She does a lot of moving. She's very interesting to look at, and she has a fabulous, gorgeous voice. So I just was like, it's really sad, and she seems like a really positive person. You know what I mean? Like fun to be around and nice to be around. So it was just really disheartening to me to see people literally. Let's put it this way: she was some little petite, curvy girl. Not even. Let's just go there. Elamai. Elamai is not all that. Do you know who Elamai is?
no clue.
She sings that song
I'm a
Buddha.
pop culture Luddite, so
Gotcha. She sings that song Badu Buddha. You know that song? Have
yeah,
you
I
ever
know the
heard that?
song.
Okay, so that's Elamai. And like when that song came out, she was just everywhere, 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 everywhere. And it's just like she don't sing that well, but she's an exotical. You know what I mean? What's her name? Saweetie. And mind you, I love me some Saweetie. I like her brand, like for what it is. I see it for what it is, and I accept it for what it is. But she ain't all that either. But she's got the package. And you'll have people, yes, that'll come and say, "Oh, she can't really rap. She can't do." But in general, she's just kind of. I feel like there's an acceptance there for her, for LMI, and all their mediocrity, that Lizzo, who is exceptional because she plays multiple instruments, because of her physicality when she's performing and things. You get what I'm saying? Because she brings more to the table, but because she's sitting at that table fat, she's getting way more scrutiny than these mediocre exoticals. And that's a problem for me. Like, that's a
Yeah,
problem for
I
me.
I mean, I think the best thing we could do would be to pass a constitutional amendment banning auto tune. and then just the cream of the crop will rise to the top.
That's never going to happen at the end. They've turned this into, it was always a money making machine, but like we're past the age of the Mariahs and the Whitneys and all of that level caliber of performer, and that's never coming back. And I've made my peace with that. But yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, I appreciate the feedback and your take on it, and I'll make room for someone else to come on up.
I appreciate you, Chris, and tell AJ I said hello.
Will do. All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions for me? There's a Q&A, and you don't have to come up to ask your questions, but I am happy when any of you guys come up and chit and chat with me because it makes a better stream in my experience and opinion. Mango Earth says, I saw her in concert. She sounds great in person too. I know she did. I remember like not too long after, maybe within the 6 months or so after I had discovered her, she was in Philly, but I forget why I couldn't go. But I wanted to go. Um Tiff says, why don't you clap back because I'm winning. This is winning. Good as hell singer said mic drop fashion because I'm no one. Okay. Yes, that is what she said. Toby said, I wish Corinne Bailey Ray got more recognition when she came out. I used to sing her songs to my daughter when she was little. Yeah, she had really sweet songs. I liked her. She was nice. You know what? I liked Leona. Leona Lewis was kind, gave very chill vibes. Who else did I like? Jordan Sparks. Jordan's girl. No air. Child. No air. Mm. Mm, mm, mm. Hope says, not the cream of the crop, the already privileged like the Taylor Swift will rise to the top. Now, and I have a book here. It's called 1 Million Followers or whatever. And they talked about Taylor Swift. And Taylor Swift actually was putting in work for a long time because she got big on social media first. And it was talking about how she built up her fan base on social media and like how she was a good case study and how to build a community and things like that. So I gotta give her that stuff, but she's definitely holding her reign with her whiteness. But no, and Taylor has some bops, and I'm a pop person. I'm a pop princess. You know what? I'm not. I like my rap and I like my R&B, but I'm pop to the core. Pop trolls forever, gang gang. And I really appreciate Taylor's stuff. Now does she say some wild things sometimes? They do, yeah. But that's unfortunately that's what comes with the territory. That she's so good, Corinne. Yeah, where has she been? Has she done any new stuff? I haven't heard anything. I really haven't heard anything else of her. Maybe one thing a while ago since Put Your Records On. I like that. What else? You know what? I love me some Ed Sheeran. Give me some Ed Sheeran, and we're good. What else? Any other questions? Let's see. Was there something? Jenny said you didn't get a notification. You got to turn them bells on. Nelly for girl obsession with Nelly Furtado. Nelly Furtado, Shakira. My Shakira phase. Who else? Who else? I like Justin Timberlake too. I know you might throw some tomatoes because he's a culture vulture, but his shit is good. I don't know what else to tell you. Um, I don't know what else to tell you. And Tiffany said, I've actually never listened to her Taylor Swift music, and no, I don't live under a rock. I don't think it would be hard if, and you strike me as someone who is living a very metropolitan lifestyle. You don't have time for such things, Antipodes. Yeah, Themis closed the Discord. It's wild enough in the chat and stuff. he had enough. She said, "There's a reason JT is good." Thank you, Jenny Bean. Like honestly, you know why? Because now I'm to a point where I feel like it's a bad thing to like Justin Timberlake, because anytime he's brought up, people are just like, "He's a culture vulture," And I'm just like, well, dang, but I like it, but I like it. Same thing. At least he ain't raping nobody that we know of. Same thing with Robin Thicke. More than a culture vulture, JT seems like an awful person. See, I can't say that's not true. I don't know. I don't know, ma'am. Oh, you know what? I do remember he was cheating on his wife a couple years ago. That wasn't cool at all. Esperanza Spalding is great. I do remember Esperanza Spalding. Beautiful, beautiful gown. Like, no, beautiful woman. Period. She was really pretty. I remember her. She had like a curly fro, right? And she played an instrument. I like it. You know who? See, I wish I could play it for y'all, but I think it'll cut me off, and I don't want to. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. Alice motherfucking Smith. If you don't know who Alice Smith, look her up. Look her up. And that's all I'm gonna say. Cause woo, blew me away. So how are we feeling about Justin Bieber? I love Bieber. I love Justin Bieber. Like, he delights me. And I know he's a problem, for a lot of people, but I just laugh whenever I see him. He's delightful. Yes, she's a cellist. Okay. I'm like, I remember her. Remember that lady? What was her name? When she played the violin and she was in like all the hip hop videos in the early 2000s. I remember Mary Ben-Ari. That was her name. Mary Ben-Ari. I love Alice Smith. Yes, girl. First of all, first time I saw her, it was Black Girls Rock. It was Black freaking Girls Rock. I believe Tracy Ellis Ross introduced her. And she sang it, and the way she was just moving and standing, and I was just like, who is this? And I looked her up. Yes. Yeah. Now that is the pinnacle. That's what Chris was talking about. And he's talking about, making sure the best of the best of the best, sir. Yeah. Alice Smith. If you don't know her, do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor. Ciao. Girl, yeah, I didn't want to I never really liked what's her name? That was another one that just kind of skated by. The girl that sang Fool for You with CeeLo, because I believe it was CeeLo's song. But then she took it over and she sang that song 3:00 in the morning, whatever it is. Like she had some bops, but she was kind of mediocre. Now the thing about A. Marie, I give A. Marie a pass, right? She has kind of like a lackluster voice, but there's something about A. Marie that I really like, that really feels authentic. And I'm not saying Melanie Fiona, that's her name. I'm not saying Melanie Fiona isn't authentic per se, but it's very much giving. She's pretty enough. Let's give her an album. You know what I mean? And even though I feel like it's kind of similar with A. Marie, I think the fact that she was an innovator with that sound, or she was the vessel for the innovation of that sound that she had, I can give her that pass. And one thing is iconic. So I don't have no problems with her. Let's see. What else is going on? I'm scrolling up. She said, I love A. Marie. Yeah, I just saw I believe she has new music, or she's coming out with new music. And do you know she does YouTube? I haven't really watched her, but her YouTube, like I think I watched a bit of one thing. It didn't quite grab me, but I'm just really excited to see her. Hey V. Loved A. Marie, enjoyed the Melanie album with the 4 a.m. song on it. Yeah, I guess because I tended to try to stay, especially around that time, try to stay away from those whiny type songs. I was going through stuff. I can't sit and say I was too good to go through stuff, but I tended not to want to dwell in my music. Like I'm a pop person. Give me a up tempo. We're out partying. Give me some Kesha. You know what I mean? Like, I want to party. I'm ready to party. I want to dance. I want to dance my my troubles away. I will say though, there's this song. What's his Labyrinth? If you don't know I love Labyrinth, and he has this song called "Jealous." I would. It's like if I would find a song. There were certain songs that were just so melancholy, and they just captured. It's. I have two settings. I have, you know, what's it called? Tim Burton emo, and then I have, Pop Troll. And so when I was in my Tim Burton emo, Labyrinth worked for me. Um, but he has really beautiful songs about love too. Like, oh my God. Who else do I like? She said, yes, Kenny. So I like two of Corinne Bailey Ray's songs, Sad When Her Hubby Died. Oh, Gaga, girl, how can I forget the Queen? Listen, when I tell you the fame, the fame, oh my God, I was obsessed. I was obsessed. And then what was the one after that with Alejandro? They stole my CDs, y'all, out my car. I, I had a little booklet of CDs, but that was in there. That was in there on repeat. Telephone. Me and my oldest can't tell us nothing. Okay. He did do the Euphoria soundtrack, and I love it. And I love it. That song, Still Don't Know My Name. I love that song. And I remember listening to that song over and because it was just so like I have a problem. I have a problem with this. I have like this really forlorn, unrequited love identity part of myself, and Labyrinth, that soundtrack really spoke to that. Janet, of course, Madonna, girl, Madonna. Um, there was somebody else, and oh, love me some Sia, love me some Sia. Uh, it was Gaga. Who else was I love? Of course, Adele. Of course, Adele. She's another one that when I'm in my emo, like that's where I'm at. Um, Brit. Um, who else do I get like go hard in the paint for? I don't know why. I know as y'all saying I'm going to do it. She said I was in a restaurant bathroom and heard a Zayn song called "Like I Do." It was about look up the official. I will because Pillow Talk is it. Okay. Um, I already mentioned. I already mentioned the Ed Sheeran, and I'm talking about give me Maroon 5 too. Give me those. Like give me that song. I See Fire. Give me those folksy. I like some folksy music too. Give me some acoustic guitar and some strong vocals. Love it. Who's the blonde? Don't speak. Oh, yes. See, yes, Gwen Stefani. A must. A must. Love Angel music, baby. Are you kidding me? Mm. Janet was my fave. Janet is your fave. Janet was giving me during them dance songs. Like what's that song? Don't Stop and I Want to Fuck with You. That girl. That's what I'm like. Give me some good pop. I want to dance. I want to move my shoulders. You know what I mean? I want to get lost in the music. Nora, I do remember Nora Jones. And what was the one? These dreams are my own, from my heart. Something. I love you. I love you. I love you. That song. Her. I think she wrote that song. The rest is still unwritten. That song. I listen to mostly R&B, but can listen to anything. Grew up on R&B, Motown, pop, some blues, and gospel. Discovered R&B, jazz in college. Yes, and grew up with country. Girl. First of all, what's that? Delta Ray. Hold my hand. Ooh, baby, it's a long way down to the bottom of the river. Hold my hand. Ooh, baby, it's a long way down, a long way down. Love that shit. Okay? Nelly Furtado, Natasha Bedingfield. Are you talking about Natasha Bedingfield? Yes, Natasha Bedingfield. Unwritten. That's her. What is it? What? Oh, that's pretty. Chris said, I'm not saying what would have been right or wrong for her to do personally. That's for her to decide. However, given she's a multimillionaire and media darling. Paula Cole. I can't remember her. I remember the name, but I can't remember exactly what it was. And who is that? That song, "Big Black Horse and a Cherry Tree." Who sang that? Love that song. Kenny said, "Bet something." I was close. You were close. You almost got there. I caught your meaning. I caught your meaning. Pink. Of course, Pink. You know when Pink really got me? When she started doing those aerial tricks. That was when I really started getting like into Pink. Cause like even when she did that There You Go stuff, that was nice. And that, you know, when she first came out, nobody knew if she everybody thought she was black or Puerto Rican. But when she really got into her own stuff, let's see. What is that? I don't know what that is. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, Petty, you made me think of emo. Fallout Boy. Fallout Boy. Who else did I like? I think it was like more so. Oh no, you know who I like? All American Rejects. Love All American Rejects. Spice Girl. I kind of like Spice Girls, but I wasn't as into Spice Girls as I could have been. Tick is a bop. I probably know it, but I don't remember what it is. Good Enough in Possession by Sarah McLachlan. Yes. I heard that first Alanis Morissette album and her greatest hits album. What is that song? It's this song with Natasha. I think it was with Natasha Bedingfield, and it's called In Between the Raindrops. Love that song. Blink 180. How could I forget? These are the mothers. Shania Twain, Celine Dion, and Faith Hill. Mm, mm, mm. You wanna relax on the porch with some half and half tea and lemonade? Yeah, yeah, yeah. She said I used to get teased for liking them. Blink 182. Was that Blink 182 that said, "Come my lady, come my lady, you're my butterfly, sugar baby"? That was the song. Okay, Green Day. Avril Lavigne was that girl. Absolutely, wasn't touching her. Nobody was touching her. Um, who else? Shania and Celine. Yes, the Queens. The Queens. Girl. And of course Mariah. Like that's a given. Mariah, first of all, Mariah is my baby mama archetype. Okay. I don't know them. I don't know them. I don't know him. I don't know their children. I don't know anybody. I don't know anyone. Um See, I hated that butterfly song. I loved it. It was a bop. It was a bop. Come on. Yes, do you know the way to San Jose? Yes, they be showing like the old people on Instagram and stuff. I get lost. Celine Dion years ago in concert, Shania and Faith Hill. Who wants some Nickelback? Who bring it on? Am I right? Seriously though, I think you really appreciate the Carolina Chocolate Drops. Leave. Oh, I know Rhiannon. I've heard of her. Yes. Butterfly was crazy. Okay. I was obsessed with Face Hill Dario B. Listen, those were the times. Okay, easy listening. Easy listening. Do they even have any of that anymore? Dang, Shirley Bassey. Yes, she said, I'm half Canadian and we don't claim Nickelback. Oh, no, don't do them like that. Don't do them like that. Nancy Wilson. Miss Nancy. Listen, I feel like I would see YouTube is corny. I would love to listen to music with you guys, with people like watching me. I go, first of all, let's not even get into the 70s and 80s music, the disco, and then like the 80s music. Rick James, I go off. Um, Donna Summer, I go off. The what's it called? The Spinners, I go off. Listen, I'm in here listening to Get On Up and all of that. I go off. I go off. Tears Dry on My Own, Amy Winehouse, Love the Fleetwood. Yes, Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks. Oh, you know what my song is? What's it called? Oh, Black Betty, lamb, lamb, oh, Black Betty. That is my song. Don't listen. What's her name? Dolly Parton. Dolly motherfucking Parton. My girl. Jolene, I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Okay? Don't take him. I need him. Disco and classic rock. The eyes, yes, the Isleys. Make me say it again, girl. I'm gonna be listening to music tonight. That's what's gonna happen. Yes, Tom Jones is still an OG penny dropper. Living in Minnesota now. Saw Prince perform 3 times. Lucky. Love disco and classic rock. Me too. Um, Blondie. I'm a sucker for some Blondie. You know who else? Billy Joel. Really enjoy Billy Joel. Really enjoy Sting. Well, the Police and Sting. Um, let's see. Who else? I'm trying to think of people that like people might be surprised. Well, at this point, you may not be surprised who I like. I will listen to Tick tomorrow. That sounds familiar, and like I said, I probably know it. I probably just don't know the name. Um, what else? Oh, Jet. I love Jet. Are you gonna be my girl? Yes. And the reason I love Jet is because that was on in the cafeteria. It was that and like I think All American Rejects. Like certain songs were always playing during that era. That was my 1 year in college. So that always stuck with me. Tina, of course, Tina Marie. Everybody get up. Mm-hmm. Yes. Like some Michael Bublé. Oh yeah, Michael Bublé. The John Mayer child. Daughters. If you haven't heard John Mayer Daughters, listen to that. Mamas and the Papas. She said, I like Michael Bublé's poem, and that John Mayer Continuum album had a lot of hits. John Mayer, Kim, Maxwell. Kim cracks me up. It's something about the way he sings. It's like I don't take him seriously, even though I know he's a serious artist and he's taken seriously. It still gives guy singing on the corner downtown vibes to me. I don't know what it is about Kim. He just cracks me up, but I'm happy for his success. Bilal is great too. All I think about is you must be my soul sister, sister. That's what I think of when I think of Bilal. The gravity is that wall. John Mayer's an awful public persona ruined his music for me. Yeah, like you kept hearing all this horrible crap about him, and he just kind of disappeared because he was that girl for a while. I feel like he was the Pete Davidson of his time. She said yes, Isleys and my Neo Soul Maxwell, Erica, Jill Scott. Jill Scott. Let me tell you something about Jill Scott. Jill Scott spoke to that broken fat black woman in me when she was talking, when she was singing. I think it's Words and Sounds Volume 3. Y'all, I'm going to assign that to, I don't know when it is, but we're going to dive into that at some point because it just encapsulates all of those experiences of being caught in that cycle of being like sex driven and knowing something is off and knowing you're not quite getting what you need, but not knowing what you need and how to get it. And so just latching on to what you're getting. Oh my gosh. How could you not like Golden? How could you not like Golden? You know what I mean? Like, what else is there? Um, that's a Brandy. How could I forget Full Moon? Full Moon was my life. Okay, don't. Of course, we can't forget about Warren. Parliament make my funk the P funk. Okay, and you know who else? What's his name? I'd rather be with you. Ooh, yeah, I know his name, but I can't remember it right now. Yeah, I'd rather be with you. Ooh, that was my jam, my jizzam, and also what's his name? Bill Withers. Love me some Bill Withers. Boosie, yeah, Boosie, Boosie Collins. Love me some Boosie Collins. Um, who else was I really into? And somebody, oh, you know, and I love the you know, that '80s music. Word up, everybody sing. I like that. Um, and just give me the night. That is my song. That Charlie motherfucking Wilson. Charlie Wilson. And what is they what was his group he was in? That group, You Dropped the Bomb on Me, and it's some other songs. Love it. Earth, Wind and Fire. Mm-hmm. He said, "Why I thought you was talking about Boosie Boosie. That's your age, baby. That's your age." Laundromat Nivea, yes, and it's a shame because that is technically an oldie now. It's old school music. I don't think we watched an award show since Flavor. Exactly, me either. Dixie Chicks was killing it. Oh, remember Lucy Pearl? Lucy freaking Pearl. Bill Withers. Also check out John Legend's cover of Bill's I Can't Write Left-Handed. The Gap Band. Yup, the Gap Band. Love the Gap Band. Like when Monique hosted the BET Awards. That's what I remember. And also, what is their name? I know their name, but I can't think of it with the Leverts in it. Some people got to have it. Yeah. Some people really need it. Listen to me, y'all. Do things, do things, do things, bad things with it. I know their name. I said George Benson, Give Me the Night, but really love X Love. Mm-hmm. And of course Stevie. Stevie had all the bops. OJ's. Yes, OJ's. And you know, James Brown, of course. Where are we without James Brown? Hall and Oates. Give me some Hall and Oates, okay? Mm-hmm. What's his name? Michael Hall. Is that his name? Michael Hall? Whatever. He has this show, or he had this show. I don't know if he still has it, where he had like this uh renovated farmhouse or something, and they would do little stuff around the farm, fix it up, and then he would have these concerts at towards the end or whatever. It was hilarious. Him and Patti LaBelle had this show too, where she would cook and stuff at her house. It's not the most recent one; it was the older one. It was kind of like on somewhat of a public television station, but I just remember it was funny as hell because every time they would do a transition, either in or out, like to a commercial or back from a commercial, they go with Patti LaBelle. They would just do it every single time to the point where it was comical. So I always think about it. Marvin Gaye, Nell Carter. Yep, Nell Carter. She did have a set of pipes. Child. Well, that's how they treat that black women. That's what happens. Sharon Jones. Who else was I? Who else was I feeling? Maybe a lot of things. It's so much. I would love to just have a party. I would love to host parties, and we would just like like DJ D Nice. Y'all do. I'll post that sometimes, like in the chat and stuff. Do you guys go to the D Nice lives when I post them? Because he be playing all the music. You could just be listening to anything. Raphael's more on his eclectic vibe now. He was the music consultant for the last couple seasons of it. So he was Gladys. Mm-hmm. Yes, Gladys Knight. We should do it. Yes, and listen to some tunes and just vibe out. It would be fun. Cause they don't want us to connect with music. Ain't nobody paying. Like no, I'm not taking any money. I'm not charging. Especially now since I can't monetize. They should let me just do it. They should let me just do what I want since I can't monetize. Or disco night. We'll figure it out. It says from Q&A to music recommendations. Y'all can still ask me questions. You know, Dionne Warwick is my it's my psychic friend. Listen, voice of Velvet. You hear me, Velvet? Gladys is great. I saw her years ago in concert. Anita Baker, have seen her 3 times in concert. You're good, amazing, amazing. I know it's like heaven. Who would I want to see? I don't know if I ever would have wanted to see Michael Jackson in concert. I'm not saying that I don't like. It just seems chaotic. You know what I mean? Like I like watching him on television and I like watching the concerts on television, but I feel like the experience of actually being in there with all those people, I don't know. Thank you, Jazzy. Do you think black men complain too much? Yes. Short answer, yes. Um, it's not even so much that I feel it ain't that's a simple, for me it's an oversimplification. It's not even the complaining, it is the literal lack of accountability in the positions that they put people in. They put us in certain positions and then overly scrutinize our reactions to the positions that they put us in. And like I said, I feel like they put us in these positions unnecessarily, but they built a societal structure around the belief that it's right and natural and they're entitled to put us in those types of positions. But I deeply, deeply resent the fact that they, like I said, put us in those positions, but then overly scrutinize us for the myriad of ways that those positions cause bad outcomes for us. Like I don't appreciate. So it's more than just complaining. Like for me, if you're just like, oh, do they complain too much? It's just like nah, 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 nah. Not only do they complain, I feel like it is by design. You know what I mean? Like I feel like to say, oh, they complain is more so like, oh, they're just in kind of a passive position and they're complaining. I don't feel like they're in a passive position. I feel like they are doing a lot of things on purpose and maliciously, and then they complain and it's all just a big ass gaslight. She said my last concert was Hall and Oates with Train. Oh, Train, yes, Soul Sister. Train singer came out to sing Hall and Oates, Wait for Me. Daryl Hall wrote Wait for Me. And Sarah Smile. All about the same woman. Oh. I saw John Lee Hooker and BB King perform together. And I was about to say that had to have been otherworldly. That had to have been otherworldly. Where was it? Was that like down south or in Cali? Where was it? B said, I saw BB King and George Benson at a festival concert, but never saw John Lee. Name Beyonce's best album. Her best album, I gotta say, Lemonade is her best album for me. It was the most meaningful to me. Um, it hit me right in the feels. I felt like it resonated the most with me of all of her albums. Like I enjoyed all her albums. I believe it or not, don't come for me. I haven't listened to Renaissance yet. I just haven't. I think that when it comes to Beyonce, for me, I need time to like do it in my own time. I don't being that she's at that level where like you don't. I feel like it's hard to be objective about Beyonce, being that the culture is she's so saturated the culture, and like in my experience back in the days when like I listened to the radio and stuff, I felt like I never had a chance to really decide whether or not I actually liked her music. I felt like it was pushed on me so much that I just assume that I liked it or whatever. And I don't know whether or not I liked it. So I think I'm giving myself time to listen to it in my own time so that I can objectively decide whether or not I like it. She said Drops of Jupiter was mine. Yeah, Drops of Jupiter was so cute. She said Renaissance. Yeah, I like lemonade with my thing. And I feel like now that's something somebody asked me before, like would I make regular videos? That would be the type of video that I would make where I would dive into what lemonade means to me and what Jill's, you know what, that's what I'll do. I will do videos on certain albums or songs or whatever that mean stuff to me within the context of, this channel stuff. Also, just so you guys know, my Vitamin Key is a channel. It was a channel first. It's been a channel for years. Like I used to do commentary, or I think I did like commentary when Donald Trump won and stuff like that. So it's just really, really old, low quality stuff. However, that was what I was going to do for like my pop culture, TV reviews and stuff like that. And that'll be what I will use Vitamin Key as my just general pop culture media commentary. Like everything Leveled Up Single Mom is going to be skewed towards Black women's social issues and single mother social issues. So if you want just mindless media commentary and stuff like that, that'll be on Vitamin Key. um any funk artist you like? Yeah, Boosie Collins, and I do like George Clinton and the P Funk All Stars. Are the Spinners considered funk? I like them. I like 70s, 70s through 80s type funk is what I like. Are they making more? I guess Bruno Mars and stuff would be considered funk now, but I like the older stuff better. I'm not saying I don't like Bruno Mars. I do like Bruno Mars, but Bruno Mars gives me nostalgia, you know. Antipodes said, I love Lemonade, but I'm also partial to the self-titled album. I like the self-titled album, but I feel like for me, the self-titled album was a build-up to Lemonade, which it was. It literally was a build-up to Lemonade, but it's like because I guess those albums coincided with specific things that I was going on in my life. Like during her self-titled album, I was pregnant with my youngest daughter, and I remember like specifically that song, I just want to say oh my. That was like my song because that was something I attributed to like what I was going through with her father. And then the whole of Lemonade, but mostly All Night Long, that I remember just listening to that on repeat because I felt like that encapsulated exactly what we as women who are holding on to the promise of, our relationships with our baby fathers or just our boyfriends or exes or whatever to get better. That is what we're going towards. That's what we're going for, that reconciliation of just, okay, you admit that you did wrong and I'm just going to accept you and take you back. But we're both here fully committed to moving forward, together in this moment. That was what that represented to me. And even that song, we built sandcastles and washed away. I made you cry when I walked away. That was like that, and All Night Long. I was just like, this is exactly, what we're going for. You know what I mean? Hope H says, I haven't listened to it either. I want to listen to it I don't want to feel pressured to listen. I just feel like whenever anything Beyonce does happens, it's always either you can't get away from it or there's all this pressure and hype around it. And I'm like, when I do it, I want to do it because I really want to do it. I don't want to just be jumping on the bandwagon. Moonstone says it's a tie between Renaissance and Lemonade. She said, I have to see the artists before they stop touring in Minneapolis, St. Paul pre-COVID. A lot of concerts would come to those cities, which both have a big arena and smaller theater. theaters. Okay, Antipody, we'll see you when you get back. If I'm still on Frankie Beverly and Maze, that's a great show. I think I saw them somewhere. It was like a bunch of different people, like a festival or something. Have you listened to Scissors Control album? My very good friend tried to put me onto Scissor and Summer Walker, and I just couldn't get into it. And I think that's because if they were out, which they wouldn't have been because they were a lot younger probably, but if I was still going through the stuff that I was going through that they are like talking about at that time, I think I would get into it. But because that stuff I like, I'm in a different space now. I prefer not to. Music is a very emotional thing, you know what I mean? And so when I hear that music, it's triggering for me, basically. And so I can listen to it and I can appreciate it, but I think there's a part of me that's like averse to really getting connected to it. If that makes sense. Lemonade is self-titled, definitely in the top. The fact that I can't help but to sing the whole way through again and again on repeat is what makes her best, I think. Which one you sing all the time? Frankie's great. Chris says Circle Star Theater, San Francisco Bay. The stage rotates and everyone gets that. Ooh, by the time they ended with the thrillers going, everyone was on their feet, even the paraplegics. Bye, Chris. Um, he wanted me to play Golden Time of Day. Oh, I listen to all night like it's my yeah. Mint condition, grand band Stokely can sing in the time. Oh yes, the time. SOS band. Alexander O'Neill and Sherelle. Let's see. Jasmine Sullivan Hotel takes us top. Yeah, like she was trying so hard to get me, and I have an aversion to it because I'm just like, I don't want to go back there. I don't want to go back into that. I think, or not even so much because I do have to go back into it to like to write about it and to talk about it and stuff like that. But it's like that music for me, when I'm listening to music, like I am adopting that energy and I am anchoring in that energy. You get what I'm saying? And so I tend not to like to listen to like even a lot of the songs I was talking about with Labyrinth and Adele and stuff like that. I don't listen to it even though it'll hold a spot in my heart forever. I don't listen to it now because I don't want to re-anchor in that energy because it would be really easy for me to just slide right on back into that state of feeling and all of those feelings and stuff. You know what I mean? I won't call it low vibrational, but it's forlorn. You know what I mean? And it's that energy of that I talk about in the book where you're just like, I don't know what to do. I just love them. You know what I mean? Like the heart wants what it is that the heart wants what it wants type of music. And like, no, I know better. You know, like I know better now, so I don't even want to revel in it. I feel you, girl. I get you. But no, I'm moving on. I'm what I'm trying to find is music that I can resonate with now that'll help pull me into that next phase I want to be in of being able to trust and rest in my love for a man. You know what I mean? I haven't found any music yet that I can anchor in for that because I'm ready for that experience. You know, I know that other experience all too well, and I'm beyond that now. Hi, Drea Sphere. Welcome. We're doing a Q&A, so if you have any questions for me, you can ask me. Same here. Music holds memories too. So if I don't want to remember, I'm not listening to some song. Yeah. Can we discuss fairy tales, Anita? But yes, we can. I always heard it growing up, and I had heard it, as a grown up, but I don't think I ever listened to it. I had never heard it as a woman where I really listened and connected to it. And it's so interesting when theme issues. I was like, oh my God, yeah, absolutely. Like that makes so much sense. And it is a hurt piece, man. Like I said, I never I never fantasized per se about a wedding and or even a boyfriend. I fantasize about specific people, like we talked about our crushes and stuff on one of the lives before. But I never was just like, oh yeah, I want to have a boyfriend, and then I wanted adventures. And so when I got older, I just kind of took for granted though that men were like you saw in the movies, that they wouldn't bother you if they didn't like you, and they wouldn't want to be, if they thought you were ugly, that would be clear. That's a big part of it too. Like, it's not just a thing of, oh well, they were talking to me and they liked me. I thought that if a boy or a guy felt like you were ugly, Cameo is who I was talking about earlier. um if a guy thought you were ugly, they generally would either be very vocal about it or they just wouldn't bother with it. You know what I mean? So I took for granted that if someone was in my face, that they wanted to be there. And so in that sense, I would say that was where my fairy tale kind of blew up. One of my all-time favorite videos was "It's Tricky," Run DMC, yeah, featuring Penn and Teller doing three-card Monty Street. Um, it is a sad. Like I said, I never realized until the other day, and I haven't sat and listened to it again, but I am going to listen to it. You know what other song I rediscovered within the last couple years? Um, what is their song? Now I gotta go find it, because every time I say something now, it's like my mind goes absolutely blank. Are you using a marker? I smell it. No? Okay. Maybe it's somebody outside. Where is it? If I Could by Regina Bell. I had posted that with my daughter, and I think I remember like my mom sending that to me once or whatever. But that, yeah, If I Could by Regina Bell. Regina Bell was another one. Oh my God. Um, Fairy Tales, remembered the lyrics, but resonated with the fantastic pianist on the tune. He did, like, as soon as I started tearing up, like when he started playing it, I was like, oh my God, real? Yes, I'm already tearing up. So I think Dram is slept on his last album. Shelly FKA Dram was good. He had a song with Erica Badu that's good. I forgot about Candy. You're right. Yeah, I could, like, I know all of the names, but I can't. When I'm talking, my mind goes literally blank. She said, "That's my song to my son. If I could, yeah, if I could, I would try to shield your innocence from time, but the part of life I gave you isn't mine. I'll watch you grow, so I can let you go. If I could." Yep, that's the one. Said I'll listen to it almost every day. I was like, wait a minute. Also has a song with her that has a guitar solo at the end. I like her's vibe. I love I'm a sucker for DJ Khaled. I love me some DJ Khaled. I know this is, we talk about all these like classic top tier um world class artists, right? And then I say DJ Khaled, but he's great at what he does. Lisa James' version of "A Change Is Gonna Come." Thank you, V. Yeah, I knew I was gonna start singing at some point on here. I just didn't know when. Um, who else do I? Someone that I really, really, really like. Really, Adele. Like Adele, amazing. Like, she is one of the voices of the generation. You know what I mean? Amazing voice. And Jasmine Sullivan. She said, "I see I'm gonna be watching somebody right? And I just got me in the mood for all types of music." Said, "Not we the best. We are. We are the best." Listen, another one. I love it. You know why I like DJ Khaled? Because He's so I want to say positive, but it's not just the positivity. Like he is genuinely enthused about life, and I love it. I love it. Chasing pavements. What was that song? Set fire to the rain. Mm, mm, mm. And what was that song? I can't. It was one of her first songs. It was something about where I come from, or in my hood, or something. She said, "Rolling." Listen, she had me at rolling in the deep. I was invested. Okay, I was like, "Who is this? Who is this diva?" Um. Oh, Sam Smith. Love me some Sam Smith. Listen to Nia featuring Jasmine Sullivan. Listen to the live orchestra version of the song. You know, someone like girl, like that's one of the ones that I would just sing all the time. When I'm telling you, forlorn, if someone like you, it was and I can't make you love me if you don't. And you can't make your heart feel something that it won't. Here in the dark, in these final hours, I will lay down my heart and I'll feel the power that you want. Yes, hometown. In my hometown. Girl, come on, Adele. Come on, Adele. Who don't want to see me win? She said, V Carter, that song was amazing. Like in almost every version. What's the name of the song? My hometown, that was my favorite. Make you, yes, I would sing Make You Feel, I've sang Make You Feel My Love to every single baby I've ever heard. That is my song for the babies. I've sung it to my stomach. When I had my children in my stomach, I was singing it to my, my friends' babies. And anytime, if you put a baby in my arm, I'm singing Make You Feel My Love to them. Which one? I Can't Make You Love Me. Yes, I love that song. She said, why am I sitting here singing with you? Cause that's the song, girl. That's I can get in my feelings with these songs. Adele, Labyrinth. He has a what's his song? He says, it's hard for me to say I'm jealous of the way you're happy without me. You gotta listen to that song. If you listen to that song, you could be all the way in love and you won't feel like somebody left you. Okay? Oh, he said I was quoted DJ Khaled. Yes, I love DJ Khaled. He is comical. What's my favorite Prince song? My favorite Prince song. I would say it's not a song. I like the whole Purple Rain album. No. Do I like? No, it's the whole album. I think I like the album as a whole because all of them are like. I have a funny story about Jasmine Sullivan. Well, no, actually, I do have a story about Jasmine Sullivan. I used to work at the airport. I used to work for TSA. And one day I was on the line, moving people along the line or whatever. And I spotted her coming. It was really crazy that day. And I spotted her coming and like I saw her and she saw me. But she had like a stank attitude. It looked like she was doing that thing where she's just like, oh, I don't want to be bothered. I'm like, bitch, I don't want to talk to you. I'm at work. There was only one person, no, two people or two. It was Jill Scott. I found myself tearing up for absolutely no reason because she was there. And then the cast of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like right as I was coming into work, they were right outside my checkpoint, just getting the shoes back on and stuff. And I was like, oh my God. I used to love that show at that time. Like I would make sure I watched it every week, every new episode. But my daughter was saying that when she was living down south with her dad, her stepmom was playing that song like a hurricane, the way you break everything that comes in your way. she was listening to that song. She was like, "Oh, my mom used to listen to that all the time," and I cracked up because she basically was going through something with with her dad. And she said the woman was playing that song and she was being smart. She's like, "Oh, my mom used to listen to that a lot." Slowly, sure, yes. He said, "As my guitar gently weeps, Prince cover is magical." There are songs I can't think of them right now, but there are some other Prince songs that I like. Computer Blue. I really do like Computer Blue. Um, so I like the song Hallelujah. I was a choir kid, so I love songs you can sing. Mm-hmm. So Rick Carter likes Purple Rain, Beautiful. I do like Beautiful Ones. Okay, Beautiful Ones. I don't want to say When Doves Cry. I feel like that's cliche. When will we be paid? Something in the Water does not compute. Look for Liverpool or England live version on YouTube. Petition needs a video. Vitamin and Themis. Petition. That's a song. I probably know that, but I can't think. I'm telling you, I don't know why my brain is shutting down. I think I can't be entertaining and use certain aspects of my brain and it's like shutting down. Like some things that I know are not coming to the forefront of my mind and it's bothering me. I'm gonna have to look into that. I might need to take some vitamins or something, get some cod liver oil or something and work on that. Some sea moss. Who was that? That was Erica talking about the Aries spirit. Talking about sea moss ain't gonna do it. People get on things and run it into the ground, okay? Sea moss. God. That probably ain't nothing like them. Remember them pills people used to take? What's it called? The pills that basically was supposed to fill you up with a bunch of fluff so you wouldn't be hungry. I feel like that's what sea moss is. What's this? Will it let me go there? Will it let me go there? It won't let me click on it. Can I? No, it won't let me click on it. Yeah, it was Erica. You're the one, Leela Jane. Who else do I like? Let us see. Just pretty much any. Just sit it down and let us sing. Let us see. Did you see? It's this guy that does. He does commentary as a vocal coach on different performances, and he did a performance of four women, and um it was Lettucey, it was Jill Scott, it was what's her name? It's getting late. Her, and then it was someone else. Can't remember who else it was. It was four really great singers, and I liked that. And then he did a critique of Jill Scott, not a critique, but a breakdown of Jill Scott. Was it You Love Me? I think she was singing that, but she was singing it with like a Marsha and Bruges. Hmm. Um, he is really good. I love him. I found this song randomly and absolutely love it. Wilson, Do Me Right. Has anyone mentioned Sunshine Anderson? That song got on my nerves, if I'm being quite honest. It got on my, but you know what? That era though of like those videos and just having the TV on. And remember when you had what kind of cable was that? And you could go to Music Choice channel and it would just play the videos and stuff or play the music. So Sunshine Anderson and then Carl Thomas and what was it? Who does that saying? Don't you forget it. Don't you forget your way home. And the Joe videos and the CeeLo videos and all of that. Like I missed that. Was that the early 2000s? Early 2000s neo soul was top tier, man. It was a vibe. Take me back. Take me freaking back. I miss it. It's making me feel sad and nostalgic. music, yeah, any neo soul was good. It's this song. It was Raphael Sadiq, and it was D'Angelo. You should be here. I love listening to that every now and then. That's like amazing. Angie Stone. Glenn, yeah, Glenn something. Don't you forget it. I just remember it was just a real chill vibe. And what was that other song? Sometimes she loves me, sometimes she love me not. I love Nicole, and she's all I got. He said sometimes she nags me and complains a lot. I love Nicole. Yes. What she say? I think I met Avery Sunshine. You should be here off House of Blues live album. Listen, and Lucy Pearl was it, okay? I was just like, yes. Look at this. What else? I I liked the Black Eyed Peas. I liked the pop aspect of it, but they did that chick dirty. The black one, they did her real dirty. Who else was I into? She said that was Carl Thomas. And Nutty Professor 2 soundtrack was my soundtrack. It had all of it. It had the thong song. It had I'm Missing You. And it had was the Rockwilder on there? Method Man and Redman. They had some song with them. And then it had Hey Poppy. Well, that was a fantastic soundtrack. I remember I got that for Christmas or something. Somebody gave me that, and that was amazing. Love that soundtrack. Nutty Professor too. And it doesn't really matter what nothing. Nostalgia. Oh my god. It says I hate Dawn Robinson's career was derailed after Lucy Pearl with Dr. Dre wasting her time promising it out. Yeah, In Vogue was the shiznit. Alicia Keys before she started creeping with Swiss Beats Child. You don't know my name. I remember AIM. I remember I had like this picture of like a queen or really dark skinned black regal silhouette. And my you know how you can have something be like whenever you make your comment, it would do a sound. So mine was a woman's worth. That was after I met my baby father. Before that, when it was when I move, you move. D'Angelo and Maxwell, yes. You know what else I love? The Velvet fucking Rope. The Velvet Rope, that album. Oh my god, obsessed. Obsessed. Movie sound. Yes, movie sound. Waiting to Exhale. Preacher's Wife, Soul Food, Boomerang. Is it my turn? And you know what? That song, Brandy and Ray J did a version of Die Without You on Brandy's album Full Moon, which I was obsessed with Full Moon. But when I heard that really sealed the deal. That really sealed the deal. Brandy and Brandy's brother. She said, "Why did I not know there was a black lady in Black Eyed Peas? That's crazy." Yeah, it was before they got popular. They were just like a regular kind of neo soul funk band, and they had a black woman in it. What was that song they had? I'm trying to think. It's on the tip of my brain. It should still be around somewhere, and it was just a regular looking black lady, and then one day they popped up with this white woman, and incidentally, that was when you started seeing them everywhere. When Ray J could sing, child, I have questions now. I wonder if he could. At this point, I don't know. It might have been some trickery. Now that you mention it, I think about it. I think you're right. I listened to Full Moon a lot. Full Moon is a vibe, and I love that cover. Oh, you're back. You're back from the store. What'd you get us? She was creeping with him while she was married. Who was creeping? Who you talking about? Dawn with Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre looked like he made out of clay, and not like Play-Doh clay, like that hard clay, that hard, lumpy, colorless clay you used to get in your art, in your art kits, in art class. You know that clay I'm talking about, the kind you had to kind of wet your thumb a little bit to start working with it. You know, it was kind of rough. Alicia Keys, child, yeah, Alicia Keys was creeping. Oh, Jaguar Wright, amazing, talented. Does he was dusty, musty, and crusty. Oh. Yeah, he don't look. You know, some people look like they made out of clay. And you know how like they make pottery and stuff, or they make clay sculptures, but it's like the rough outline of it. They haven't smoothed it out yet. That's what they be looking like. So where it was a big deal at the time. You gotta remember, listen, it's a mix of ages here. My demographic is from the age of about 24 to I believe 38. Those are the demographics of the people that tend to flock to me. So some of these people just generally don't know. They just don't know. But yeah, he looked like a clay face. And he don't have no neck. Does he have a neck? There's something going on with his neck to head ratio. It's just not, it's a little off putting. It's worse now that he got older and got some weight on him. You know who else would have some neck issues? Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes and Timberland, because what they would like to do is they would like to get real buff and then they would get fat and then they would kind of slip like it was something with their weight, but their necks would be real thick. Busta Rhymes and Timberland, which I both loved. Both love both of them. Maya, yes, Maya. Oh my gosh. Fallen. Fallen is my freaking favorite. Fallen. Apparently I was under a rock. You was just minding your business, you know. It really wasn't important, but it was a big deal. I do. I do. Let's play face. Listen, that's just how my brain works. That's just what I see when I see him. I see a clay face. It's a lot of people. I can't think of anybody right now, but I'll let y'all know. We've been in different places. I'll tell you if somebody got a clay face or not. Some people be having a clay face. Some people be having a toe head. Any of you who used to watch Spy Kids, remember them muscle things that had toes? Some people have toe heads like that. Brian Mc. Oh my God! Anytime, and one last cry, Jesus, dang near took me out of here. Okay, like I said, it's some music that now I can, and that's the funny thing. Like I can listen to Brian McKnight and stuff like that, but I can't listen to the SZA stuff. I think because with those Brian McKnight songs are like older songs that I was a literal child when they came out. I can listen to because I can connect to being a child listening to them and like understanding that they were sad and stuff. But SZA and stuff, I think I'm connecting to as a literal young woman. So it'll put me in a headspace that I don't necessarily want to be in. Why don't we fall in love? Why do you hate Brian McKnight? I've never heard that in my life. Why do you hate Brian McKnight? Not once in my life have I ever heard anybody say they hate Brian McKnight. Oh, and Babyface. Ooh, I missed that era. 90s R&B was lit. 90s R&B, man. Okay. Let me see. She said he's not a great person to hear. I hate him. You know, I do remember hearing something about him and his kids and him being a butthole. Will Downing, especially his cover of Angela Bofield, I Try, and his cover of The Eagles, Crazy. Shit, I can't stand him on his voice now. Now come on now. Now come on now. The voice. Amy Reed deserved better. She did. I watched something. Who was it? Was it Black Femininity TV? It was one of these channels that do a lot of like what are those called? Not exposés, just profiles on different people. And somebody did this really good one on A. Marie recently. Will Downing, nothing has ever felt like this. He turned me on too. I remember it wasn't even too. It was within like the last 2 years, right? That his kids was coming at him about something. That's how it be, man. It be the ones that you be thinking like, oh, they're gonna make it, and no, they wind up doing some fuck shit. Will Downing and Rochelle Farrell. Mm-hmm. The childhood version of me is so disappointed. I was rooting for her, never cared for Swift. Listen, that I took that personally too. I really did. That's why I say, like, if you didn't bother with it, I salute you because I was all the way invested. I'm still not quite over it. Like, that was so ew to me. And the part that I hated about it was that, like, they tried to make it like they always do. They tried to make it like the what's the name? Mashonda was just bitter. Like they just tried to make it like she was just bitter for no reason. Yeah, y'all never ever listen to a song after years and realize you never knew the word. Yes, or you did. Yeah, that's how it was when Themis played Fairy Tale. I was just like, oh, that's what this was about. It's like I knew of the song. I knew the song existed and I heard it many times before, but I never really listened to it as an adult woman. Luther Vandross, did you know his song Superstar actually combines covers of 2 songs? Don't you remember? You Love Me Baby and the intro to Aretha Franklin's Till You Come Back to Me. I will have to re-listen to that. That's what I'm gonna do. She said, why we knew all the R. Kelly songs? Because they were bangers. And I'm yelling not because I support R. Kelly. I don't. Let that nigga rot. But his music is like transcend, like it's amazing freaking music. He has probably still has a gift. It's really unfortunate. His songs were like, and it wasn't even just, they were catchy, they made sense, they were simplistic, but they were sophisticated in their catchiness. He had a sister, he had a gift. And it was a little bit too raunchy for me. And maybe because I don't know, because I was coming up, I don't know. Ignition was around when I was in school. So yeah, Ignition was the shiznit. But like all the other stuff when I was a kid, like I was just like, all right, R. Kelly, you nasty. But Ignition, Half on a Baby, I just love that ding 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 ding. Half on a Baby. I like that song. They're earworms, yeah. And then Step in the Name of Love, The World's Greatest. Like, he had some great freaking songs. And then he had the nerve to do that song with Lady Gaga. I love Lady Gaga. Like, man, listen, I'm not. Yeah, but I can't separate the art from me. It really wasn't hard for me. And then like it's the music that he produced for other people. What was that song? For Kelly Price, This Is Mr. Big. How you do? And then what was the song he did for Mr. Biggs himself? Child, listen. I remember that video. I can't sleep, babe. That was just so sad. I remember watching it on Urban Expressions. Like, oh my God, he's so sad. I was a kid. You can't even say the title with my brain immediately starting to play. Listen. You was Drea, please. Are you serious? Are you serious? Drew Hill. Oh my! And the videos. I missed the videos. Were so good. They made you want to be there. Nowadays, I don't know what the hell this shit is. Oh my God! All up in your. Ooh. Okay. Yes, you're contagious. Touch me, baby. Give me what you got. Baby, wait, let me explain before you start to point your cane. Child. That is good. can't forgive you for making me laugh at this. Yes, what? She said, this is my serious face. Like, what? He said, I believe I can fly the song with Celine. Yes, I'll be your angel. Child. That's what I'm saying. Like the stuff, he was everywhere. And it was all freaking good. It was all good. She is on timeout. Like I need an explanation. Um, your comment about Drea's comment made me laugh. I was like, oh, and you that song I think was called Birthday Cake. Do y'all know by really by R. Kelly? Child, I don't know. I think I blocked some stuff out. And then of course, he had the streets buzzing with what was that? With Trapped in the Closet. Trapped in the Closet. Like he was the king of that era. He really, really was. Yes, for shame. For shame. How dare you? Not how dare you. Not how dare you. I'm taking that back. I said, I think that song was called Birthday Cake. Yeah, I'm glad you. Yeah, you need to do a story time or something. Cause what? But I guess if you were from the area, whatever, they said he had a net. He had a what? He was the pie freaking piper, right? He had a net cast for all the young girls, the young tenders. He said, "Trapped in the Closet wasn't met," and then he kept doing it like it wouldn't end. It said, "What's the best black love movie?" I don't know. The thing is, oh no. So my cousins and I were picked out of the crowd and brought to the hotel to meet. Oh my God. Where were your parents? And I'm not saying that in that, accusatory way like people say. I'm literally like y'all was just at the concert by yourself. Black love movie. I don't know. Like, cause I remember I do like Boomerang, right? And I every couple of years, like when I would get the opportunity to watch it, I would watch it. And when I watched it, like within the last during the pandemic, I was just like, ew. I was just like, what the fuck is this? I was so mad. I was just like, no, no, don't take him back. Don't take him back, Halle Berry. No. I never really got into Love Jones. I feel like I was a bit too young though. To really like identify with it, even though obsessed with Waiting to Exhale, obsessed with that. Um, hmm. I watched Brown Sugar. I guess I like Brown Sugar, but it just really didn't feel real to me. The Best Man wouldn't be considered a love movie, would it? So I really don't know. I think the only movie I saw, and I wouldn't even say I liked it per se, but the only movie I could think of right this second that kind of had somewhat of a happy ending, and y'all gonna be like, "What?" was Claudine, because they got married. She had all them kids, and they got married. He did marry her. I remember that movie. Oh, that movie. What was it called? What was that movie called? It had Sanaa Lathan and Wesley Snipes. What was that movie called? That was freaking stressful. I remember that. She said they don't. They don't. They really don't. I never liked loving basketball. I never liked loving. I hated loving basketball. He was an asshole. I could not stand it. I just always was like, this is dumb. This is really dumb. Yeah, As We Lay. My mom liked that song. That'll be in the Patreon. But husband, girl, yes. Computer love. Yes, computer love. And congratulations. I thought it would have been me. That goes along with I'd rather go blind. Child, now, As We Lay, Husband, and Congratulations are all songs that I remember my mom singing like all the time. Someday I will explain why that's significant. That's a significant realization for me. um, she said we were visiting Omaha. Since we were good, our uncle surprised all his nieces. Wow, you were in the front row. That nasty nigga saw y'all. Oh, haven't watched any of the Best Man's movies. Preacher's Wife, Love, Waiting to Exhale, Best Man, Why Did I Get Married? But the rest of these, yeah, like, yeah. And even the preacher's wife, she almost cheated with the angel. I didn't like Love and Basketball. I didn't see any chemistry, and he was a dick. Like, I just didn't like him. Disappearing X. Yes, Disappearing X. Stressful. And like I said, when that came out, was I in middle school? But, ooh, I think I read that book too, though. Now that my generation's music is being sampled and remixed, yes, I realized we were stealing from the older folks, and I understand. Yeah, because it ain't as good, and like you get ready for this particular type of experience when you hear it, and then you're like, because it's not at the same. It's just not the same level. He was just, yeah, child. We need to do that. We need to do a review. You know what? We can start doing. I'm not taking all the way over from Petty, but we can do reviews of like love movies and stuff here. That's fine with me, and that can be the first one. I gotta find where I can find it though. Disappearing X. Um, maybe we can do that on. I'm trying to think of a day when nobody does anything, but we'll figure it out. We'll come back to it. So we can start doing reviews of like movies and stuff. Said, listen, I was a child, but yeah, he was mad that she was a better ball player for sure. Yeah, like it was everything, and that goes. Now I gotta start talking about what we talk about here, right? That just goes to show you it's all around us. We just didn't know what we was looking at. These men don't really be liking us. They don't like us as people. Like they literally want us to play this particular type of role, and they don't like us having our own being the main character in our own lives. It says she had more ambition and I think he didn't like it. Yeah. He was just a punk. She settled and so did her mom. Yeah, she knew her mom settled. We just didn't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's so crazy how all this stuff was, and that's why I say like it makes me so mad when I see the way they talk about women as if they don't, as if like, oh, you know what's going on. And it's like, no, I don't. And y'all make sure that we don't. You know what I mean? Like y'all make sure that we don't understand it because that's why they'll say, oh, that's why we lie and that's why we sugarcoat things. And now they'll say, oh, that's why women can't take it. It's not that we can't take it. Is that if if you said it that way that you really mean it, that you would get an emphatic no. You know what I mean? Like it's different saying, "Oh yeah, I don't normally deal with bigger girls, but you got a pretty face or something like that." It's different than saying, "Yeah, I could never have you as my girlfriend, but you want to have sex." That's you know what I mean? Like that's two different things. But you know that if you say it like that, not more often than not, you're going to get a no. Say, y'all find a good movie, let me know. The whole genre is usually sucky. Yes. He was trying to tear her down from age. From the age, he was never nice to, like, there was never any reason for her to like him other than that he started desiring her sexually. So he kind of sort of switched up the way he was talking to her a little bit. Not that much, though. Even though I really liked her Damage song, I love the original. She sampled the music, Making Love in the Rain, featuring Janet Jackson and another singer. Bondi Blue has, yeah. I watched some of the one for Waiting to Exhale she did. She does. She really does. She goes deep. Um, Child, yeah, but that stuff is a mess. Like, I was just, ugh. Like I said, I think I love Boomerang because I loved seeing black people so metropolitan and dressed up and you know what I mean, like it was visually beautiful and aesthetically pleasing to me, but when I actually watched it I was like, ew. I was so pissed off. I was so mad. I was just like, he really played her and he's playing her again. I won't say that he played her again per se. I feel like he really genuinely did realize the difference between like a connection based off of actual connection as opposed to attraction, lustful attraction or ego attraction. However, I didn't feel like he earned his way back. You know what I mean? So I didn't necessarily feel like he wasn't sincere, but I didn't feel like he earned it. You can still cover movies, though. There are plenty you can just, oh yeah, I'm me, and people can't do me, and I can't do them. So he was playing right in her face. Came up to her job, and she all, but I can't be mad because that's how I used to be. I'd be real tough, and then I'd be like, okay. But again, it's that idea that you just you wouldn't be here if you didn't really care. She couldn't even ride her bike. Child, she couldn't live. She couldn't do nothing. From the moment he set eyes on her, he just could not stand her existence. He was the Aries Spears of that movie. Both degreed women, but he chose the teacher. Child. They played ball for love. You win, you get me. What? Right, child. Okay. But you know something? Because the thing is, he just had to get that lick in. He had to dunk on her. He had to get it out. And then he's like, all right, we can try it. But because she was doing better than him that whole time. You know what I mean? Like he had to get that baby child, baby freaking boy. And that's the truth. That's how people really living out here. That's how they really live, thinking they in these significant ass relationships. Child. Oh, said glad I never saw this movie. Which one? But so I would have took my ass overseas. Didn't she? Wasn't she there for a while? Well, that's where they wound up eventually. Cause yeah, they had a baby and everything, and he was in. He really is. Yeah, like I think that stayed with him. I don't think that ever left him. And the thing is, you would have never thought that about him. I never like. I won't say it's new, but like he didn't. He had enough distance from his personal persona that there was still a mystique about him. Because at one point, I thought Tyrese was cute. And he was a heartthrob. He was the moment at that time, especially that Coca-Cola commercial and everything. And Sweet Lady. Oh, my song was "Why You Wanna Act Like That." That was my song. Um, but yeah, like somewhere along the line, he just started letting people see his personality, and that was a mistake. I just feel like that was a mistake. That was a miscalculation. Jesus. So I used to like Baby Boy too. It was funny. It was funny. Sounds of love. Yes. Sounds of love making. It's sad how art imitates life with Tyrese. I think he is worse than Jody because at least Jody knew he was a bum. Jody knew he was a bum. Tyrese thinks he's a high powered man. Tyrese or Jamie Foxx? Jamie Foxx. And I like Jamie Foxx's music. I mean, in what way? I mean, even personality wise, he don't bother. Jamie Foxx don't bother me. It is what it is. At least he ain't crying everywhere. Whatever he's doing, and you don't see him talking about it. So, but I like his music. Jamie Foxx's music. Listen, I like Jamie Foxx, and his show was funny. He's giving me some good times. Whatever he likes white women, but it is what it is. What you gonna do? Let's see. All right. So, what did you say? Jamie, he is really like I really respect his talent. He's like a savant. To me, I feel like there's just sophistication to his different disciplines. DC or MCU? That's a good question. I feel like as far as my favorite characters, who am I more invested in? I guess I'm more invested in the MCU now because there's more going on. But before it was DC. It was because I mean, but for a long time, DC was the only ones really doing anything. You know, Batman's, Superman, they were the ones doing stuff. Now, since they really ramped up all that stuff, DC feels they can't compete. Like MCU changed the game. MCU really changed the game, and they've been reeling ever since. DC does always feel like a struggle now because before you think about it, what was it? Michael Keaton's Batman Bomb.com. You know what I mean? And oh my God, Michelle Pfeiffer is Catwoman. I'm sorry, that is my Catwoman. Like that is my Catwoman till death. That is my Catwoman. Um, and then the Supermans. Said Marvel because X Men. X Men was my show. X Men the cartoon was my freaking show. I did like the X Men movies, but they kind of fade to the background for me now in the midst of all this other stuff because but they were the best like that you could hope for in terms of like superhero movies or whatever at that time. But it's a shame that they like fall in the middle now for me where I kind of forget about them. So they don't want to pay nobody, child. But DC also has Jason Momoa, and he's nice to look at, and Henry Cavill, and he's also scrumptious. And I don't care who agrees or who doesn't. Ben Affleck's Batman was the best Batman to me. It just made sense. It made absolute sense to me. That was the most sense Batman ever made to me. Like his motivations for doing it. I understood that his parents had died and stuff and things were happening, but it was always giving like I'm just bored. But when he was just looking with so much hate in his eyes into the sky as Superman, I was just like, yeah, I'm invested. Disney or Pixar, or both. Like, can you really ever have one without the other? Let's be serious. Um, do you enjoy horror movies? No, I don't. I what I do with like horror movies is I'll read about them to the point where I'm like so invested in the story that I might be willing to see the visuals. But in general, no, I tend to stay away from horror movies. It said DC might come back depending on how the build up to this new Batman. I said, I don't know. I still have the original trilogy on DVD. Pixar has Monsters Inc. and Finding Nemo, so they win for me. Um, what do I? Pixar is that girl. Pixar has my heart, you know. Pixar is first of all. So now we're going to get into our fields, right? I guess I have to. I don't have to say Pixar, but I am going to say Pixar because, um, what's it called? Toy Story. Toy Story came out, and I have two younger brothers, and I have two younger cousins who are like brothers. I'm the oldest of the grandchildren. Um, and so my younger, my, huh, how do I explain this? My youngest brother was born on March 23rd. Then my oldest cousin was born 8 hours later, literally 8 hours later on March 24th. And then, what was it, 10 years, 8 years, however many years later, my youngest cousin was born on March 25th. So, anyway, for a long time, it was me and then my little brother, my oldest little brother, and then my youngest little brother, and then my oldest little cousin. And they were like, to me, they were like Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Huey, Dewey, and Louie, or who else? Oh, Alvin and the Chipmunks. That's who they reminded me of. Alvin, Simon, Theodore. That's basically the type of energy vibes they had, right? So anyway, when I was about, I want to say 22, maybe 23, my oldest younger cousin, my oldest younger cousin, yeah, passed away from cancer. He was he passed away on March 19th, so he was like 6 days shy of his 16th birthday. And I say Pixar because when he was younger, he had him and his mom and them had moved down south with my mom and them, and he had left his Woody doll here, and he was like my Woody and every so yeah, there's that. And also, what was that? Was Up? Was Up a Pixar joint too with Disney? I know it was Disney, but was it a Pixar too? Because like right after he died, I remember I took his little brother, who's my youngest cousin, to um to see Up, because I'm like, oh, I took him and my daughter to see Up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to take them to see a movie. We're going to. It wasn't too long after my cousin had passed, his brother had passed. And the beginning of that movie damn near killed me. And I was like, what the fuck is that? I was so mad. I was so mad. Like, damn it, Disney. You know, I had a lot going on. Do you eat grits? I do eat grits on occasion. I prefer salt and cheese. Cream cheese or cheddar cheese. You know what I love? My favorite grits is I like smoked salmon with cheese grits, but it has to be horseradish cheddar, and it has some green onions with it, and have some smoked salmon with that. Love it, love it. Disney always felt like they were programming me. It's always about love. Pixar talks about other things. They're fun. Monsters Inc. Up, Wreck It Ralph. Yeah, yeah. It does have like coming of age and navigating complex emotions. Oh, good picks. It was between Storm and Jean Grey for me. I love Storm, but I haven't gotten a proper Storm yet in terms of representation in the films. So I'm a bit pissed about that. Hopefully, in my lifetime, I will see a Storm that makes me feel like I've actually seen Storm. But Storm, yeah, Storm was my favorite from X-Men. Um, Wanda's my favorite, of course. From we talked about all that. We talked about why. I feel my girl. I'm not usually into celebs, but Hugh Jackman's Wolverine was sigh. I want Storm's hair. Storm was that girl. In the cartoon, Storm was that girl. Like that's what I was looking for, that caliber of presence. Because if a cartoon is dusting you, sis, there's a problem. You know what I mean? Like Halle Berry wasn't doing it for me. I remember when they announced it, I was so pissed off. I was just like, ew. Now, as far as looks wise, in those newer movies, that girl that almost played Aaliyah, I'll give her the look. I'll give her the look, but I mean, if she didn't, considering that she was supposed to be a younger Storm anyway, you know, she wasn't supposed to be in her prime. You know what I mean? So I'll let her have that. I'll let her slide. But that Halle Berry Storm wasn't doing it for me. You said I was traumatized when the bird had him for had who for dinner. She said yes, the movie did tell a deep story. Storm was that girl in the comics. She was that girl on the cartoon. Like she was just it. Like where do you go? Where do you go from there? That's why I was so disappointed. I was rooting for an Angela Bassett Storm. Okay, I was rooting for an Angela Bassett Storm. When the bird had who for dinner? What bird? Let me go back and see what you said. Oh, the ending of A Bug's Life was dark and I love it. The birds literally pull him apart. That's what he got. That's what he got. I remember A Bug's Life. He should have chilled. He was trying to be mean to every. That's what I'm talking about. That's what happens when you gotta dominate. When you need people to be submissive. When you can't just be a part of the ecosystem, a part of the community, you know, and play your part. That's what happens. And it was baby birds too. If you could choose a superpower, what would it be? That's a good question. Um, Honestly, I think that I would like to. I feel like that's an unfair question because it seems like nowadays you can't just have like one power. Like for instance, I don't want to be cliche and say Wanda, but at the same time, I wouldn't want it going down the way it goes down with Wanda. But I think like reality warping powers where I could just kind of change things would be great. That would be great. Um, because you could say, oh, I wish I could fly or whatever. She could do all of those things. You know what I mean? Like she could do so much stuff just off of whatever her powers are. But let me kind of think about that. Um, I don't. I guess I kind of gotta go by process of elimination. I don't feel like I need to be super strong, right? I don't necessarily want to be bothered with every. Sometimes I already feel like I can read everyone's thoughts, so that's kind of tiring. Um, I think I would like to be able to like move things with my mind, like to literally be able to move things around with my mind. That's why I think I say I probably would like Wanda's powers because she can move things, she can create things, she can change things, she can, do stuff like that. So I think she is like literally at this point, I think they're saying the most powerful um, in the MCU right now, I think. Even if she isn't, she is like Omega level or something. So she's like in the class of the most powerful in the MCU, and I believe Storm's up there too. I've actually like read up on the different tiers and things in different ways. I've done a lot of research on this stuff. All right, so I will, if anyone wants to, I'm going to put the link up if anyone wants to say anything before I get out of here, but we're coming up on 3 hours. So I am sufficiently satisfied with this live stream. Um, she said Omega Storm is she can destroy the planet. Yeah. So and I knew they were on the same level. So yeah. The worlds. Period. Is there anybody that's I feel like Charles isn't Omega. Charles is like I feel like Jean might be in there too, or like right near there. I don't. It's always the women's, but that's how we do. That's how we do. But yeah, this was fun. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed your questions. I actually enjoyed singing for you guys. I want to, please, someone let me know if there's some kind of way we can like have a party where we can play music and stuff. You know what would be the most fun ever? Like karaoke, virtual karaoke. What doesn't that sound fun? That sounds fun to me. I don't know, but yeah, I would love that. But yeah, thank you guys for showing up, and again, thank you guys for showing up all the time. You really make me feel or help me feel um like like what I do is meaningful and important, and I love that you get value in it. I love that you're able to glean some kind of something that you can use and make you feel better. Um that makes me feel really good, and like I said, that's one of the reasons why I am I struggle. I struggle. I feel like this is too good. And so I know that it's mostly my energy that's like blocking my ability to just focus on doing this without feeling like I should be working somewhere else that I don't want to be in order to be able to live. Yes, Phoenix is basically a god. So I either way, I appreciate you guys' attention. Like attention is the most valuable form of currency, and the fact that you guys come every week and spend this time with me and enjoy it and look forward to it and like ask me about it and stuff like that, that makes me feel so good. You have no idea how valuable that is to me, especially within the last couple months. So Wow. I really, I don't even know what to say about that. Um, but yeah, I thank you so much, and just thank you so much. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. As always, you can always reach me at my email is Kiana at levelupsinglemom.com. So Dark Phoenix is not, she's not Jean alone, but Jean is a high level mutant. Um, Thank you so much, Amara. Good night to you. Kenny says you can't sing. It's all right. You ain't gotta really be able to sing. That's not what karaoke is for. Um, thank you so much. And good night, everyone. She said, "I'm gonna use the music." How you gonna use the music? Oh, you please. All right. Thank you. Um, and I will see you guys next week, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another Woman Chat Wednesday. It's going to be a birth your bag. I'm having a special guest. I believe I am. Um, but either way, even if I'm not, you'll see me and we'll have a good time. So I'm going to go ahead and play the outro, and you guys have a good. You say you singing. You better when tonight or for karaoke. Of course, I would sing for karaoke. Why would I say to do karaoke and I wouldn't sing? Um, Kenny says I can sing and still feel weird, so I like family karaoke. And yeah, I like child. Listen, I could have went to because I come from a family of musically inclined, singer people, and they went to Gamp. My mother and my aunt and my you don't know what that is. Gamp is another. So there's high school performing arts. That's where Boys to Men went, and then there's Gamp, and Gamp is the other performing arts school that was around that time, and my family went to Gamp, and so I could have gone to Gamp, but I was shy. I didn't like singing in front of people, so and I didn't play an instrument or anything, so I didn't go. Who knows? I could have been Lizzo. hmm But anyway, maybe that's why I don't want nobody to talk about her. But all right, I will get out of here. But you will use me sing, okay? So I'm gonna be your champion for the karaoke. All right. Well, good night, guys. I will see you guys in the Discord and other places. I will see you where I see you. All righty.